Okay, welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is...
Go.
Hey, welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is Ultra Davey.
And I'm Jimmy C. How's everybody going?
Here's your line. We're going to talk about these various topics. We're going to talk about the Esports arena and the SonicFox versus Goichi happenings. We're going to talk about Mike Ross's AMA, etc., Esports, FGC.
Yes.
All that stuff. We're going to talk about Thaiger Uppercut results. Pretty cool tournament. We're going to talk about AnimEvo and the lineup of games that they have recently announced.
Yes.
Pretty cool. And then assorted other fighting game community news.
Okay.
That's the docket.
Cool. Well, let's start off with... so the reason why we want to start with the esports arena stuff before we get into the Mike Ross thing. So let's talk about this. What happened? What is this? What is the esports arena Las Vegas?
Well, there's an esports arena in Las Vegas. So, the esports arena from, there's one in Southern California, in whatever city that is. I don't know. They're in Orange County. Santa Ana. There's also one that they're putting in Northern California.
That's right.
In Oakland, I think, and there's one in Vegas.
Right.
At the Luxor.
Which just opened up, right?
Correct. So they had like an opening shindig. And part of it was to have SonicFox versus Goichi. Of course, they had high-profile matches at Final Round
a week
before, and famously, Goichi had called out SonicFox, right? And then SonicFox called out Goichi, and that was like a very organic head-to-head kind of rivalry. From what I've heard, this esports arena thing was planned even before the Final Round exhibition was planned. So it's not like they were just like, oh, let's capitalize. It was a little bit planned, but. In any case, as we covered last week, at Final Round, Goichi gave the old dunkaroo to SonicFox.
Yes, 10-3. Yeah. 10-4. Sorry, 10-4.
Okay, that's right, 10-4. And then also beat him in the actual tournament.
Right, grand finals, 3-0. Oh, it was 3-0 and then 3-2.
3-2, I think,
yeah, 3-2.
if I recall correctly. So less of a blow-up for sure. And then after Final Round, both of them traveled over to Las Vegas. They got in a bunch of casual sets against each other.
At Justin's place.
Right, Justin Wong's house there. And Goichi apparently was losing to the SonicFox and was open about that.
Yeah, Justin even said, oh man, he's downloading Goichi now. So, it seemed like SonicFox started figuring things out.
Right.
They played each other in this 1-10 at the Esports Arena launch. And, from the match, you could definitely see that he figured a lot of new things out.
For sure.
He had way better timings on the alpha counters, basically.
Yes.
He knew when to time it against Adult Gohan's lightning kick so that he wouldn't die, etc., etc. So you could definitely tell that he...
he was using that hard tag OS. His offense seemed better and his defense seemed better, on both ends, I felt. And so he jumped out to a big lead. It was it 6-4 at one point for SonicFox? If I'm reading that right, yeah, that's what it was. And then after that, it was 6-1 Goichi. So Goichi, one way to look at this is that Goichi figured it out.
Counter-adapted.
Yeah, mid-set. Another way is that SonicFox's pad wasn't working anymore.
That was definitely something he brought up towards the end. He said that he was having some issues with the pad, and he had to switch to a different pad, and it wasn't broken in like his was and everything. So
yeah, I mean, I've never known SonicFox to lie about stuff. I don't think that's him, so I'll take him at his word. But man, that is a big bummer.
Yes.
That is super sucks. And if you go back and watch a little bit, there are some times where he's not moving like you might expect, and he gets hit by stuff where it's just like a raw jump in, and you're like, why would you just get hit by a raw jump in?
Right.
So I don't want to completely say that that's nonsense. If I were on commentary, I would have ripped him up for sure.
Right, but
when that camera came back to
Chris
Matrix,
and
they didn't rip on SonicFox, I couldn't believe it.
Well, because remember, he also plays at NLBC, and so they're for his boy. They're for his boy.
For sure. No, I don't think he was lying. It's just unfortunate. But anyway, what did you think about it? I mean, did you watch it? Did you? See
I did see it, and actually, I think, are we still playing Uniel right now? Did you change us to Did you change the title and everything like that?
I did change the title, but I don't think I changed the game.
Oh, yeah, there you go. We're still under Uniel right now. So here, let me change this here.
You got it. Under Night in Birth.
That's right. Okay, there we go. All right, okay. But yeah, people definitely, I mean, I don't think that he's in a situation where he was going to lie about it, but it definitely felt like it was kind of a similar thing where Goichi just kind of counter-figured him out a little bit. But, you know, again, now what are you supposed to think about it, right? I mean, it definitely looked like SonicFox had the read early on. It definitely seemed like that he figured something out, that he was adapted a lot better to the matchup, and that he was able to weather the mix-ups from Goichi, as well as land his mix-up more often.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the final round set, he couldn't land anything. But it kind of went the same way, though. At the end of this set, he wasn't able to land as much stuff as well.
Yeah, he was getting opened up more, and he was opening up less, for sure. So whether that was just the pad, or whether it was like the pad plus Goichi was like counter-adapting, or what, I don't know. But it definitely seemed like Goichi was the best still.
Right.
Like, at least in in that
He's still the best. He's still the best for now.
Like it.
For now. So, but again, not sure what to think about the whole. Like, I don't know. Like
about their matchup.
About just the pad situation. Like.
Yeah. I mean, it just sucks. You know, there's nobody to blame other than SonicFox. Like you bring your own pad. You know, you got to make sure it's working. Right. If it had been a stick that no longer functioned, same problem. Like, you just have to pay attention to what your equipment is. Yeah.
Did you actually see the picture of Fubar Duck at Thaiger Uppercut? They said he was like desyncing hundreds of controllers from the PlayStation 4. So yeah. But I mean, I think SonicFox uses a wired pad though, doesn't he?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But yeah, again, a lot of the times if your controller malfunctions, it's your fault. You can't really do anything about that.
I heard that he uses that he was like running out of batteries, so I guess it couldn't have been wired.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I guess did he actually leave a backup in his room or something like that? Is that what he talked about? So, yeah. So I guess some people are saying that he forgot it in a bag in his room or something like that.
Well, that sucks. But but again, I don't think it was just that. It seemed like he was also getting outplayed. And as we mentioned last week, I also think that his team is not quite up to it.
Yeah.
I play the same team, just in reverse order, with 16 in the front and black in the back, and I feel like, although each individual character is very strong, that they're not as much of like a team as some other teams are. And especially the way that SonicFox plays it with black in the front, because that's really the only neutral assist among those three. With black in the front, or even with hit in the front, I don't feel like it's like max.
Right, and it was the same kind of situation where his 16 was doing so much work. Yeah. And so I just like, his solo 16 would do so much work. Why wouldn't you use 16 with assists?
I mean,
right?
Yeah. Although I do feel like 16 is one of the best anchors.
Right.
He's also one of the best points, because he's just one of the best characters.
He's just one of the best
game.
Characters, yeah.
So,
sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's still something he needs to look at. And he is. I mean, he's been talking about how he's looking at, Adult Gohan. He posted up videos of Cell. He posted videos or he's asking for videos about Gotenks. Like, he's looking into all these other characters. So it's got to be more.
Yeah. Okay.
Because definitely Goichi is maximizing the nonsense. Like, you can always count on Goichi to pick the top tier. He did.
And then you get that.
So that's what he should do.
That freaking Vegeta assist all day, helping him out and everything. Dude.
It definitely is good.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Cell, I joke that Cell is basically now my version of Urien for Dragon Ball. And someone's like, because I was like, Cell has everything and blah, blah, blah. And a bunch of people were like, how does that comparison make sense? Urien doesn't have everything. And I was like, no, just in how much I hate him. That's it. Okay. Because that character drives me nuts right now. Cell drives me nuts.
Pretty good character. Yeah. So that was the actual match. Anything else to say about the actual gameplay?
Not offhand, no.
So there's
obviously a lot to say about everything else.
Exactly, right. So that's not all we wanted to talk about with respect to the esports arena stuff. There was also the production of it, which was confusing, I felt. It was just like kind of scatterbrained in a way. On the one hand, very high-level maximum esports, right? Some of the video packages that they produced. The one about SonicFox, I actually thought was nice, right? I didn't have much objection to that. But, some of the things where they're like walking through the hallway and they're like, let's catch up with what they were doing in
like
Las
slow
Vegas.
Motion, and then they do the whole Dragon Ball pose.
Come on, right? That's all right. Could do without that. But at the same time, the stream was like weird quality for periods. It was just real bad. Like, just, like I don't know how it happened bad.
They activate super and like the screen would just turn half gray. Like it would just disappear all of a sudden, and there were just artifacts everywhere. And yeah, there was definitely a lot of issues. And I wonder if it is just like an internet problem that they had to lower their bandwidth otherwise, or their bit rate.
Right.
Because it just was eating up too much of the bandwidth.
Wouldn't it be wild if Esports Arena in Luxor didn't have like great bandwidth? There's got to be something else. I just don't think that could be it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to bust them too much for having initial problems, because it's like opening night more or less. And, that's okay. It just felt confusing because you have screwy stream quality and also just like maximum esports packages.
And some people were saying Rocket League looked fine. So
the other stuff was, from what I could see, was fine.
So what happened? Do they have some weird settings on the PlayStation? Maybe, I don't know.
I really don't know. But there was other stuff too. Like there was Smash 4, which I didn't really get to see much of, or I chose not to, more accurately. But I mean, just to be real, buddy.
Continue. We'll just gloss over that. Go ahead. Continue.
Anyway. And very, very amusingly, one of the times that they were talking about the match was actually happening already, and they were like, all right, let's go into the match. Apparently they've already started. Bayonetta had already won. like literally, it was just like a produced joke. Like they went back to the screen and it says KO, and like that's it. It was like exactly at that moment. It was crazy. So
funny.
But that's part of the weirdness of it is that they're doing all these fancy things, and the venue looked super fancy, right? And at the same time, making these like weird choices, like to come back to the Smash 4 video like right then, rather than when the match actually started. So I don't know, dude. It's pretty weird. Yeah,
and then apparently a lot of people had issues with the translator as well.
Right.
So apparently she kept embellishing things that were not actually happening.
Right.
So apparently Goichi was like, I will try my best. And she was like, I will win, come at me, or something like that. And it was just like, and Goichi even looked confused. He's just like, I don't understand English, but that sounds like more than what I said.
He definitely knows some words.
Right.
Like I've said words to him like a little bit, minimally, not much. And remember I told you last week that when Dogra beat Goichi, Dogra was like yapping at him and was like, "Oh, are you salty?" You know? When that happened, there were some other things that they were saying that like, or that other people were saying in English that they could hear, that I saw them like looking, reacting. So there's some words in there, not a lot though.
Oh man, that's actually funny. Oh, he can read English, so I guess
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean like I said, I've had minimal conversations with him. He hasn't talked a lot, but maybe he just understands me, and that's fine.
Some people are saying that, the translator was reading a script or something like that. Did they pre-plan what they were going to say for the interview or something like that?
I don't know, but that seems kind of in keeping with like how things were run. So there's this esports stuff that
came out of this, right?
It's just like a side of the esports style of production that we in the FGC just don't care for. I kind of don't get why other scenes are okay with it, but I guess they are or can't do anything about it or whatever. But for us, I felt like it helped open up another discussion into esports versus FGC, which kind of brings us into the second topic here.
I mean, like one of the things that I was tweeting about too is that one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of these productions feel the need to do these arm pose, stuff and slow motion going, because I think that they, in their hearts, are embarrassed by video games. And so they're like, oh, we need to make them cool.
Right.
So let's make them do these things here. Let's try to make them look badass. Let's try.
Right.
And it's like, you make games look cool by in your heart believing that games are cool.
For sure.
That's the thing. It's like you don't do it by trying to mask what it is. Like I said, yes, a lot of these players are very antisocial and they are not very good socially.
Not even that many, to be honest, but some of them certainly.
But some of them can be, right?
For sure.
And sure, so there might be some awkward. So just talk to them about the game. Let their game do the talking for them, you know, kind of situation. Or find the guys like a K-Brad who you will just get the best interview out of no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, we're there, but then if you have one of those awkward interview things, don't try to like hype it up with something weird. Just show Goichi in his training, like have B-roll footage of Goichi training and then SonicFox training, and then just showing that kind of stuff. Don't do, like I said, the arms folding or whatever, all that stuff.
No,
like that.
I think what you bring up that sounds right to me, because what I've often thought about esports, even down to the name of it, is that it's about sportsifying video games, because video games aren't good enough.
Right. Exactly. It's
literally in the name. Like, you need to call it esports instead of video games, because that's not cool enough, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Not marketable enough, or whatever. So that definitely, I think, is in keeping with what I expected about esports. But it's not, obviously it's not always like that now. There are, I feel, some productions that have roots in esports that are great. It's not always bad.
Oh yeah.
But there is that sort of feeling of phoniness that comes in sometimes, and that has been around for a long time, and has been, you know, a big part of why in the FGC we were suspicious about it.
I mean, I see some people in chat mentioning, like, it's not necessarily embarrassment, just copying actual TV sports commentary and stuff like that. I'm fine with that. Like, I actually think that's cool, because a lot of times they do that, but it's not like you're not going to, like, for example, when ESPN decides to try to show something about, like, Scrabble, they're not going to make the Scrabble kids run down a hall that's, like, all colored and stuff like that.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? But it's still a sports production. You know what I mean? You can do sports production without trying to turn it into something it's not.
Well, even in sports, I mean, I don't watch that many sports nowadays, but I did for many, many years. And I don't recall that many, like, hockey games that had, like, let's check out what the competitors were doing beforehand. They walk down a menacing blue hallway. I don't think so, right? How often does that even happen? Because like, you like hockey. That's why you're watching this hockey TV program, because you just want to follow hockey. And, like, you already like it. You don't need the extra, like, nonsense, you know? Just, like, have conversation with the players, which is what they did.
Right.
They would just, like, after the game, you just have a conversation with whoever the goalie was, or, hey, how'd it go? All right. You don't need any of the extra stuff, because it's good on its own. It's already legitimate. You don't need the extra stuff.
Exactly.
You don't need the phoniness.
Don't have to turn it into something that's not.
Yeah.
That's just all it is. So.
That's not to say that there's not, like, the extra glitz and stuff in sports productions. You know, they sometimes do a lot to make things seem more epic. You know what I mean? That definitely does happen. But I'm not necessarily opposed to that if it's done in a reasonable way. I just didn't think that part of what Esports Arena did was reasonable.
Right. I mean, perfect examples, like Red Bull Kumite had some of those things where they had like Butex follow Luffy and Kayane, and, you know, kind of like seeing what they're doing.
That's
or
right.
like that.
Yeah, their local scene.
Even Evo on ESPN has always been produced by 10-0.
That's true.
And so it was still sport. And so you had those sequences where, like, Tasty Steve is talking about the Evo parry, the Evo moment and stuff like that, you know, where he described it as like driving a car through a window and then it explodes and all. You know, like, it was something crazy, like, but it was genuine because it was Tasty Steve being Tasty Steve, right? And it's like I said, you know, anytime you're genuine about something, it comes off on camera, you know what I mean? But when you get someone like Goichi and SonicFox walking down through a colored hallway, and I know we're harping on that particular sequence.
It's just so silly.
Yeah, I saw that and, like, it made me want to turn off my computer. Like, I was just like, oh, I don't want to see this.
Like, those two dudes are mega nerds. You know, I've hung out with them. They're very nice. I like them both. But they're, for sure, all they were doing in Vegas was playing Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
There's nothing else, definitely. Like, maybe they went out to Korean barbecue with Justin or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's it. And I think that's fine. I think that's cool. Like, that's what I'm interested in.
Right.
So I don't need the extra whatever.
Right. And like I said, I feel like that's overcompensating for their own internal embarrassment about video games. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't just do the regular thing. You have to go over the top to make them that much better, as opposed to just like, this is cool on its own. One of the reasons why, like, the poker productions on ESPN work so well is because they eventually just started highlighting the players, but did so in a very true, normal fashion. It wasn't like crazy, oh, look at these poker players.
Yeah, they're not like cartoon characters.
Right, exactly.
Except for that one dude in the hat. He seemed like a cartoon character to me.
Wait, which one?
He had long hair and he always wore a hat.
You talking about Chris Jesus Ferguson?
That sounds right, yeah.
Okay. That guy was awesome, though.
Yeah,
he actually could throw cards and cut fruit. Like, he could actually do that. They had a whole segment on him, and he was like chopping bananas with the playing cards.
Wow, that's pretty cartoony. So, all right. Good stuff, then.
Chris Jesus Ferguson.
You can back that up,
dude.
I guess. All right, fair enough. So anyway, the production could have been a lot better. We don't need. It's like when E-League did the security guard with Wolfkrone and K-Red. You just let them have a rivalry, and that's fine. You don't need to like play up the extra nonsense of it, because everybody knows it's just shtick. We weren't actually worried about them fighting, like obviously.
Right.
So why have the extra shtick?
And plus, let's say they did play each other and no one fought and they didn't say anything. That's part of the story.
Yeah.
Automatically.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So
there's things that you don't need. And to E-League's credit, they didn't do that kind of thing again. And when Injustice came around, I felt like they had a better like grasp on how to handle FGC stuff. So could have been better, but esports,
Yeah.
You want to move on to the next thing?
I mean, Seth Killen has always said the thing about Evo, for example, right? It's like they just put it there and magic happens. Like that's kind of thing. So even like at Capcom Cup, the fact that Nemo and Itazan got to play each other, and Nemo even got to do the handshake thing to Itazan, that was all organic. You know what I mean? It just happened.
That's true.
That's important.
Yeah.
It needs to be organic. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so anything else to say about the esports arena stuff?
Nah, let's move on.
So we brought this up at the start rather than other things because I felt like it ran into the second topic pretty well.
Right.
Which is to cover the AMA that Mike Ross did over the weekend. Or maybe was that yesterday or a couple days ago? I don't know. In any case, his AMA on Reddit. So did you read it?
I read a lot of it. I don't know if he added more to it afterwards.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
I'm not sure I caught actually everything he did.
So I did read it. I did read a lot of it. And
what happened?
To be honest with you, I read it and like a lot of it made me sad. Actually, to be honest, one of my biggest reactions of it was that I felt like I was really sad.
Okay.
I felt kind of down afterwards for a lot of different reasons, right? Mike Ross and I had conversations a long time ago before he even like got big or whatever like that, and he's often said to me that one of the reasons why he went for the whole thing is because of a conversation that we had and stuff like that. So I'm just like, dang, did I like throw him into I feel bad that he had like this horrible experience out of it, but at the same time, it's his decision. It doesn't matter what I say, so it doesn't even matter. But also at the same time too, a lot of people respect Mike Ross. Mike Ross keeps it real. And, he's definitely very anti-esports right now. And, I don't like esports, the production thing.
Yeah.
But I understand the growth of the fighting game community. And I know a lot of people, one of the reasons why that a lot of people target me as like a shill or something like that is because I do want it to grow. And I've said that many times that in my heart of hearts, I've been living the fighting game community for 20 years as a niche thing. Yeah. And I'm kind of tired of it. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it not just because I don't like seeing, it's not just like I want us all to be rich, I want this success. It's just I'm tired of having people not be able to enjoy these awesome, talented players. I want these stories to be told. I want PR Balrog to be popular. I want, Justin to be well known and stuff like that. Not because, like I said, I just want to be validated. It's not kind of like I need to validate video games thing. It's just these guys are my friends. I want them to be successful, and I think fighting games are awesome. And honestly, part of it probably really is that I've dedicated too much of my life to this, and if it goes away, I would feel pretty crappy about that. There's definitely a lot of that to that.
It's understandable.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, before we talk more about it, do you have like a little, do you remember what he said? Can you like recap it?
I mean, a couple of things, like he was just saying he hated what happened. Like he hated the esports side of things. He did not like where it was going, and so he just wanted to quit. He hated people trying to make it something that it wasn't, and some people asked him so what do you really think of Street Fighter V? And he said Street Fighter V sucks. I hate the game. Yeah. He was like, if you're an 18er and you want to like the game, more power to you. Yeah. But the game sucks, and all of a sudden he was pretty angry. I mean, it was pretty angry, but it wasn't angry. He was very it was very candid.
Angrily.
It was candid. It was very candid. Yeah.
Yeah. He also talked about how he tried to make Capcom Pro Talk work.
That's right.
Which is, of course, the show that he did on Tuesdays, right? For a while. It was a couple
with
years.
Flo, too, yeah.
Much of the time with Flo. And that he did a lot of the payment stuff out of his own pocket, and that Capcom didn't support it.
Because they didn't think it gave him any money. Or
right. So
like that.
when he was told that Capcom didn't support it, that they didn't see any reason why I should continue, then he just stopped it because he thought, well, if they don't even care, like, why am I doing this?
Right.
So there was a lot of I don't know, disappointment.
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of, as much as distaste was a big part of it, dislike for how things were going, I feel like there was a lot of disappointment in there too.
Yeah. I mean, look, CPT was awesome. It was great. It was like, Mike Ross was amazing on that thing. Mike Ross and Flo were amazing.
Awesome.
Right? I loved watching that. I thought that was like, well, when I could, because unfortunately I was at work and Twitch is blocked at my work, so it was like really hard at the time. But, you know, it's again, the thing about it is, like, and I'm going to say this without trying to sound like I'm trying not to ride Mike Ross, okay, here. Mike Ross is a visionary, okay? I'm just going to say that. He had a lot of insight to really what to do. I mean, as much as anybody can say anything about cross-counter TV, that was successful. Like, what they did.
Oh, yeah.
They crafted something very successful for themselves, right? Capcom Pro Talk was a great vision. A lot of the things that he tried to do at Twitch were great visions, but sometimes he just wasn't allowed to do it. And this is the problem with the real world, is like, a lot of times people at home are always like, just do this and this will solve the problem. A lot of times the world doesn't agree with you on that. Right. You know what I mean? And it's too dangerous, and it's too risky, or you can't prove to the people that it's going to make money. And honestly, it's true. The older you get, the harder it is for you to see different kind of ideas, right? I mean, the music industry is in that right now.
Yeah, you get in a rut, for sure.
Right. So honestly, I really feel like he was on the right track. And to hear that Capcom kiboshed the Capcom Pro Talk, especially because, you know, at the time, there was a lot of people we knew that was working there. And, like, right now, there's a lot of, like, I wonder if the people at Capcom right now are even like, what the hell? Why would we have shut that down? You know what I mean? Like, are they even thinking that? Right.
Where in Capcom did that come from, right? I don't know.
Exactly. And it seems really, really weird that would be shut, because it was great. It was great. It got a lot of eyes on the Capcom Pro Tour. I thought it was super valuable.
Definitely.
And it's hard for a lot of people to understand not seeing hard, true money. And I don't know if that came from the Japan side. Yeah. Because that's definitely a Japan thing. Yeah. That is definitely a Japan thing.
Yeah, so. I really don't know. But, you know, for Mike, so before, I'd like to talk about his thoughts on sort of esports and all that stuff. But even before, I just want to talk about Mike himself. He was obviously extremely popular, and he hated popularity.
He had to deal with a lot of stupid shit, dude.
Well, for sure he did. But I mean, he didn't like being popular. Like he's told me that a bunch of times. And there were even times after tournaments when James and I'd be old people and just go up to our room and like get a pizza or whatever, and we would invite Mike up, and we would just sit there silently, right? Yeah, because none of us we're just like over it, you know. Yeah, we don't, it's nice to meet people, but like, no, but really, like, it's nice to have a little break. And he would talk about how he felt like he didn't get breaks, and he constantly had to deal with being like a personality. Many times before he went on to host a program, he would tell me, I don't like hosting. Like, why am I here? This is not something I like to do. So he was awesome at all those things. He was a great host, but he didn't like it. And I've always felt like that was a big issue for him, that he kind of fell into this thing that he was great at, and that was valuable for the community for sure, but that he himself didn't enjoy.
Yeah, and you know, he had to deal with a lot of stupid things. I mean, Mike Ross is also a very prideful person. You know, he really believes in himself. I mean, I think that's probably why believe became his kind of catchphrase at one point in time. He would make some crazy comebacks. He got top 4th at EVO, top 4 at EVO that one time, and all this stuff. But then, you know, it was that joke. Like, there was a great story that I saw that, you know, someone had a Mike Ross as a fraud sign. Did you read about this?
Yeah.
So, like, the guy had this Mike Ross as a fraud sign. Then after the thing was done, like, after the tournament, he walked up to Mike and was like, can you sign this? And Mike's like, sure. So he takes the sign and he just tears it up and just, like, drops it and walks away.
Yeah.
Because he was with his at that time girlfriend, I think, or something like that.
That's what it said, yeah.
And so, I mean, he just had to deal with a lot of stuff, and I know that he's one of those. He doesn't want to deal with that.
I mean, and who can blame him?
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, I saw him and his girlfriends get harassed so much that when I started dating my now girlfriend, I didn't want to like make it public because I was worried that that would happen to her.
Right.
And I didn't want that to happen.
It's true.
It never did, but that was a big concern because I saw what Mike had to go through. So I feel like there's on top of his distaste for SF5, which I think is real, and how things went in terms of Twitch and Capcom and esports and stuff. There's also this side that I feel like is just him just being done with doing stuff that he didn't want to do, like being a public persona rather than just like a player and a guy who hangs out, like the extra burden of it. I feel like he kind of finally threw off. You know, he sort of just like didn't want to have it anymore, which like, I get.
I can totally see him coming back as a player and just not doing the personality things. And I think that would work out for him because I know that's kind of what he would rather do. In his heart of hearts, he would rather be a player.
I'm sure.
You know,
I'm sure you're right.
And like, for example, I feel the same way. If I could be competitive right now, I'd rather be playing right now. But I do commentary because I know I can't be competitive right now. You know. So, but the thing is, I think Mike is still in a position where he could do it. In fact, you know, he's still playing Guilty Gear. He does like a couple of like silent, hidden streams with Guilty Gear where it's playing, but he's not on camera. You don't hear him or anything like that. So
for sure. There's nothing. I don't. It's not like he went crazy or anything. I feel like he got fed up with doing stuff that he didn't want to do, and he didn't see why he should do it if it wasn't appreciated. I get it.
You know, it's funny because Mike Ross had probably one of the thickest skins that I knew.
Oh, he put up with a lot.
And it's funny because I get into a lot of arguments with people, you know, when I talk about like, you know, taking certain language out of commentary or like, you know, being more inclusive to genders and stuff like that. And people are like, you know, you're just too sensitive, get a thicker skin and stuff like that. But I said something recently to somebody that I just really liked that quote, but I was just like, the thickest skin like will still lose to like 10,000 BB guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a limit.
You can't do that, and certain people get bombarded with that kind of thing, right? When you're a minority, you get bombarded way more than if you're not a minority.
Sure.
And if you're a personality like Mike Ross, you're going to get bombarded a lot, especially because that almost kind of became a shtick after a while. And I don't know how that happened. It was a really unfortunate turn of events.
Yeah.
You know how Flo would like rib him and, you know, and just on the Excellent Adventures, he would get mad and everything like that. It became a shtick, so it became like he's in on the joke when you have the Mike Ross as a fraud sign, but he never really was in on the joke.
I think that's a good way to put it. If you're that guy asking Mike Ross in that situation, you've seen Mike deal with crap enough and like kind of laugh it off that you think, well, this is the thing. So I'm going to make him deal with some crap and it'll be funny.
Right.
Because Mike thinks this is funny, right? Having seen it so many times. But there's a limit.
Right.
There's a limit.
Exactly.
That's none of that is to say that I think it's just that he had some personal problem and that, you know, there's that the other issues aren't real, because I think some of them are. It's just that I think there also was this aspect of Mike doing stuff he didn't want to do for so long, and it finally just got to be too much.
And you know, keep in mind too, the mere fact that we're having almost like a 20-minute conversation about Mike Ross already is something he probably really doesn't like.
Probably so.
You know, so this is probably not like he would probably be mad if he saw us talking about it for this long. This is not the kind of thing that he wants.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But
gotta do it though.
I mean, we got to talk about it. It's
the
funny.
news.
Yeah, it's the topic. Unfortunately for him. But you know, he has to know that when he puts an AMA out like that, then he's going to be part of the conversation.
He's a smart fella.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, look, I love the guy to death. I've hit him up a couple of times, right? I didn't say happy birthday to him, but then again, I don't say happy birthday to anybody. I'm just letting you know right now. I actually don't. It's actually a personal decision of mine because I know so many people a lot of the times that I feel like if I accidentally leave one out, that's even worse. So if I just say happy birthday to nobody, that it kind of...
Do you think like all of your friends are getting together and talking about whether you told them happy birthday?
That is the paranoia of my life. You know, that's what I'm telling you, man. So
guess what, Jim? He didn't say happy birthday to me this year.
Plus another thing too is like I'm getting to that age, and I know other people get to that age where they just don't want to know about their birthday. So enough. Like sometimes I just don't say anything to anybody. But again, like I love the guy to death. You know, I really hope for the best for him. I hope he does come back to the fighting game community because honestly, the fighting game community misses him.
I just want to hang out with him, you know. Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't want to do hosting and stuff, that's fine to me. But it'd just be nice to hang out.
Yeah, so. Exactly. I just want him there because I just want to hang out, and even as a player, if he's just there as a player, he's charismatic enough. I like the poker analogy again. I always felt like Mike Ross was like the Daniel Negreanu. Like he was the guy that everybody loved. You know, like everyone for some reason was like, I want this guy to win after they saw the profiles on TV. And I felt like Mike Ross was kind of like that. So, you know, if he could come back as a player and then we can hang out in our room eating pizza all day, you know, and not saying anything to each other, like I'm totally happy with that. And I even saw a bunch of people in the chat were like, that actually sounds like an awesome time.
We were just on our phones, just eating pizza.
Just talking, or just every once in a while just say like one thing to each other and then we're like, okay, that's
pretty accurate actually. But anyway, with respect to the larger issue about FGC becoming two esports, you know, I feel like that's something that we're all worried about and are trying to not make happen. So everybody who I've talked with about this in the FGC is thinking about it. Players, commentators, organizers, broadcasters, like all the different roles, everybody's thinking about it, and nobody wants it. That said, everybody has a different idea, different conception of what makes the FGC, what the essential part of the FGC is. Nobody, it's not just a monolith. Everybody has different thoughts, and everybody has a different line as to where it goes. It becomes too different, right? Should you have two guys walking down the blue hallway when you ask what they were doing in Vegas, and then they pose? No, probably not, right? But there's something. There's a whole set of things that are like before that people will differ on.
Like even I still remember getting, you know, having debates with other production people of whether a pre-show, post-show was more important than replays, you know, and stuff that. Yeah, right. Like little things like that. There's definitely going to be a lot of different ideas there.
For sure.
I mean, the thing about it is for me is that the problem is that esports is so established already. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's still in its infancy, and it's still going to change a lot. It's going to change a lot. But what esports side of things feel like is esports is really established. And I feel like they're kind of trying to force that onto the fighting game community still. It's always been that way for a very long time. And my point is that esports doesn't have to be one kind of thing, right? So while I'm like, you know, fuck esports, I don't want to go into that direction, at the same time, I'm like, let's make this grow and be successful. James, isn't that just trying to go esports? Yes, but on my own terms, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're in a unique position where the fighting game community is definitely way more self-observing. I don't know, like we stare at ourselves a lot, right? And I feel like we're in a position where we can control what our version of esports is. You know what I mean? I want us to be FGC. And if that, you know, I don't mind having good production, but but even like choices, like I don't wear a tie on stream anymore, only for EVO and Capcom Cup, right? But outside of that, I've stopped. Last 2 years, I haven't worn a tie on stream at all because that's not FGC to me anymore, right? And so like there are decisions that we can make, but still be kind of professional if we can. Yeah. I don't ever want to take away like a Yipes and Lee Chung commentary. Like, that should never happen. Like, they should be commentating until the end of time. You know, I don't have a one-set idea, this is how every commentator should sound and look. It's kind of thing like that. You know what I mean? I want all the different... And, you know, I have fun when we actually do get to mix. You know what I mean? When it's like Yipes and you, and then me and Lee Chung or something like that. I think it's really cool, so...
As I think we've often said, what matters the most to me is that fighting game esports, I guess, fighting game esports, is done by fighting game folks. And that it's not just an outside organization that just swoops in and handles things. And I think that mostly we are doing that. Most of the organization, production, certainly commentary, all the playing, all that stuff is almost all by fighting game folks.
Yes.
And in fact, I feel like if anything, fighting game folks have sort of infiltrated the rest of esports better than the rest of esports has infiltrated fighting games in terms of who is working on what. So I'm really happy about that. There are still some times when I think that things go too far, but personally I feel like that's rare. So my own thoughts are that fighting games has not gotten to esports yet, because what would signify that it's gone to esports to me is if esports folks, that is to say non-endemic fighting game folks, are the people like running the show, making the decisions. And I don't feel like that is happening. I feel like it's very much the opposite.
Yeah, and in fact, even something like Evo, which is about maximum professionalism that we can get, right? Because it's on ESPN and all that stuff like that. But some people were talking about the L.I. Joe moment when he came out of the tunnel and was like high-fiving everyone, and him and Yipes gave each other a hug. All the stuff was just natural. It was organic. It just happened because that what was going to happen, whether the cameras were on or not. And that's kind of the goal. So it's weird. I want the professionalism, but at the same time, I never want to lose our heart. I never want to see our players behind a red rope or red curtains or something at an event. And everybody that I talk to, I'm always like, this is the greatest thing about this, is that you're talking to me right now. There's Daigo walking around looking lost, because he always looks lost when he's walking around.
For sure.
Right? And it's like, I never want to get to that point. Will we get there if the idolization becomes a problem? Maybe, but like if I can fight the idolization, problem, I will do my best to fight that.
Yeah. So with respect to Mike's distaste for his sort of public persona, he was much deeper into that than anybody else in fighting games. Nobody else in fighting games had that kind of persona.
Yeah.
He was by far, I felt like, the most sought after person when it came to walking around events and getting requests to say hi and whatever, and social media hitting up and all that stuff. When I've been to esports events, I mean, I've seen prominent esports casters have to just sit down at a desk and have like public signings. Because so many people want to talk to them. And literally the line will be 100 people long, and it'll take a long time. And so they're dealing with that. Nobody else in the FGC dealt with that. But Mike got close to it. So I get why, from his perspective, that was too much. For me, that would be too much too. I definitely have a limit. Yeah, I said casters because I was talking about esports casters. Yeah, not commentators, which is us.
Yep.
That was the joke. Jeez. Can't believe people didn't get it. Also, I'm wearing an MLG shirt. How's nobody talked about this in the chat?
I saw a couple of people mention it. I saw one guy mention it,
Jeez. I feel like I'm trying too hard over here. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, like I said, I always look at, it's interesting because I used to watch a lot of basketball, but I've said this many times, but inside the NBA, at least during the I don't know what it's like anymore because I haven't watched it as much, so I can't really comment on it, but during the heyday of Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, when they were winning Emmy after Emmy after Emmy, that's what I want the fighting game to be, the community to be. It's a professional thing, but when those guys were sitting there, all they did was talk trash to each other. And like sometimes they would be like, well, here's the recap of what the game just happened. And then they don't even talk about it. Like they're yelling at each other about like stupid things or saying dumb things. Everything was a meme. Going fishing was a meme at some point in time, right? And you would actually hear the players come up and go, tell Charles, we haven't gone fishing yet. You know what I mean? Like it became a meme that people would respond to and everything like that. And, even like when Shaq tripped, like they all turned it into memes and everything like that. They're really good about that. They were still themselves, and they were still trash talking each other. And that's kind of the thing that I've always wanted to go, with. That's kind of the thing.
I casted esports in that very same desk.
That's right.
At E-League. Yeah, I mean, it's...
I'm jealous, though. I would have liked to have seen
the seat where the desk was so tall.
I could imagine, dude, because, Shaq is sitting at that desk,
Yeah,
right?
It was legit. We were sitting on bar stools, essentially. Comfier bar stools, Definitely, it was tall.
Yeah, that's why Shaq tripped, right?
Yeah.
You cast it off.
Anyway, so I do think it's the case that everybody I've talked with is interested in maintaining FGC rather than going to esports. It's just an issue of where each individual person draws that line. Yeah. But nobody in fighting games is out there trying to esportsify it too much.
Right. And again, yes, I'm always out there talking about I want it to grow, I want it to be successful, and I've had a lot of people tell me I wouldn't mind fighting games staying at grassroots. Just understand, I totally get that. And I was like that for the longest of time. I'm not there now. It's not a disingenuous reason. I'm not sitting here because I want to be popular and I want to be famous and I want to be living in a mansion or anything like that. It's just because there's just so much damn talent in this scene, and the games are so wonderful. It makes me sad in a lot of ways. And like I said, I see a lot of the response on social media from the Micross AMA is fuck where all this is going. I don't like this esports stuff. Let's just end it all or whatever like that. And that's where a lot of that contribution comes into. I feel like in a way, my goal of trying to figure out a way for us to grow and be professional without losing our personality, which is entirely possible.
I think so.
But I feel like that war is being lost. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people take esports and they blame that on why Street Fighter V is not good to them, or they use that to blame why, it's an excuse. And when someone of Mike Ross's stature, when he says something like that, everyone listens to him, and now everyone's going to be like, oh, thank God this guy said it, and now that means it's true. And I feel like that might put us a little bit of a step back, but at the same time, I do like the fact that it has reset our awareness so that we can make sure that it doesn't happen to the FGC. You know?
I certainly don't begrudge anybody who thinks that we've gone to esports already. Everybody has their own thoughts on that, and I don't begrudge Mike's.
No, not at all, not at all. Yeah,
I think that's fine. I don't agree, but I think that that's fine, and I certainly get where they're coming from. I mean, I remember how it used to be. It was way smaller, and it was. I feel like the olden days are romanticized a little bit, but they were certainly less controlled. Yeah, there were fewer people. You knew everybody. So I mean, there are nice aspects to it for sure, but at the same time, I definitely remember winning tournaments and I bought dinner that night. That was it. There was no money in it. Which is nicer for players now that they can actually do a thing. It's not just the money, though. I mean, now I get to travel all over. There are players playing all over in a way that was not the case before, for sure. Right. People get to watch and be part of things from home in a way that wasn't the case before. It used to just be if you weren't in one of a handful of cities,
you couldn't play.
You just weren't part of the scene. Maybe you posted on SRK, but you just what are you doing? You couldn't play.
You waited for that third copy VHS tape of B3 to come into your home so you could actually watch some Alpha 2 action.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually I think it was on Facebook, someone was talking about how great all the old games were and everything like that, and I was like, dude, the nostalgia is ridiculous at this point in time because, man, people hated watching CVS2. People hated watching Third Strike.
Chun Mirrors.
Yeah, Chun Mirrors, basically. But,
the rest of it was sick.
Yeah. I mean, Japan was sick. I'll say that. Japan Third Strike is always sick. But, there's so much rose-tinted glasses on everything. When someone was just like, man, Street Fighter V sucks because the presentation isn't as good as it was in Street Fighter 4. And I was just like,
I'll tell you, literally when SF4 came out, we talked about this in the past, but when SF4 came out, it was not thought to be a pretty game.
Dude, it was terrible.
It was already, like, literally day one.
Like, Honda and Dalsum, you're just like, and Blanca, you're like, what happened to them? And then, like I said, Ryu does jump roundhouse, and he's not even looking at the guy, he's like...
Yeah, no, it was immediate. It was immediate. I mean, so there was a... Oh, man, the chat's moving so fast. Who was it? Who said it?
But even like MVC2, people hated early on. You know, people hated that early on because they thought it was super ugly.
Oh, Hatman, who says that we get to travel all over. How many can say that? You know, implying obviously not many people get to do it, which is true. Not many people get to do it, but way more people get to do it now than were able to do it in the past. In the past, almost nobody traveled significantly. There were a few, but like I remember living on the East Coast and in the DC area, and we had a tournament in Virginia, and I was like flabbergasted that maybe like 5 people came from New York City. It was like Justin and you know, like that caliber of player, and that was crazy to me. That was considered big time traveling, right? Not even coast to coast, but like midway down the seaboard, and 5 people, and it was like it was qualitatively different in terms of the amount of travel going on. It's a lot more people now. Yeah,
and like before, like Yipes, if I saw him at Evo, after Evo's done, you had to spend 3 hours saying goodbye to everybody because you weren't going to see them again until next Evo. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I'm like, well, I'll see you at the next event. Whatever, you can leave now. You know, it's like you can get out of there. Before at Evo, it was literally like that ballroom after it was done. Everyone stayed in there because you had to find each other because you weren't going to see each other again for a year. And so that's what it was like before. You know what I mean? So it was really small.
Yeah. So it's true that relatively few people get to do it still, but that number again is much, much bigger than before. So there just are more opportunities. And not even all of it for commentary and for playing, but people do it for broadcasting too. And there are journalists, only a few, but there are journalists who travel around for it as well. You know, I mean, that stuff is developing in a way that just was not there in the past. Anyway, the point of all this is that while there were nice things about when the scene was smaller, there are also many nice things about it being bigger and having more money. It's just that I think that we need to do our best to make sure that the money comes in a way that is controlled by FGC people still.
Right.
And as I said before, I think that we're doing a pretty good job of that. It's not categorical. E-League is the thing that is mostly not fighting game people. Although there are definitely fighting game people involved in that, but it's not like the sort of upper level management. So there's some of it, but it's almost everything else is fighting game people.
Right. The fact that Evo on ESPN production was done entirely by the Tenno staff is still blows my mind. That, you know, it was those guys got to do it. No, ESPN didn't get a say in how the show was, how Evo was presented on ESPN. It was the fighting game people who determined that, and I think that's fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah.
One of the guys working at E-League is EMP Roach King's Thighs.
And he's in the chat right now?
He sure is.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Hilarious that he landed on that name. And even when I saw him at Final Round this year, I saw him at E-League. I know you are. But he came up to me and he was like, hey, how's it going? Remember, I'm Roach King's Thighs. And I was like, what a thing to say.
Dude, you remember Thong Boy Bebop, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So he blames me for that name, and he's so mad about that name.
Oh, that was you?
Well, because for the longest of time, Bob Painter was Kuroyume in all the chats and everything like that, right? And which means Black Thunder, I think it is, or something like that. He was Kuroyume. And I guess one of the first things that his real name is Niles tried to do was go online, and he called himself Kuroyume. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, hey, Bob. And so he was like, dang, someone else has that name already. So he changed it, and he changed his name to Thong Boy Bebop.
Okay, all right.
And
so he didn't need to pick Thong Boy Bebop.
No, he really didn't. No, he did not. But yeah.
Oh man.
But he still blames me about it. So.
That's very funny. Anything else to say about this esports conversation?
EMP Roach King's Thighs.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one.
I mean, again, look, I know a lot of people who are very anti-esports for the fighting game community. Yeah. And I get it, because you're wearing the MLG hoodie. Back in the day when MLG was trying to do fighting game stuff, I was like come hell or high water, you know, I would like throw the grenade myself at MLG if I had to. You know, I'm super opposed to it, but that's because, like I said, I don't want MLG coming and benefiting the FGC. I want the FGC benefiting MLG,
right?
Because then we know who's in charge, and we kind of are in that position a little bit more now, but we're still not there yet.
Didn't you do commentary at MLG, or
no,
you did not?
I never did MLG. They would never ask me to do that from all the things that I've said.
I don't know, because I said a lot of crap about them, and they asked me eventually. I did do it. The time that I did it, I think it didn't go that great, unfortunately. In fact, it may have been one of the worst tournaments ever.
Right.
In Justice 1 tournament. But for other esports groups, like when we did ESL a bunch, we did a bunch of stuff with them, and it was great. And a big part of why it was great was that everybody involved was fighting games.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody involved was you know, from the FGC or had been playing fighting games forever and was at least like tangentially into the FGC. It felt like a very FGC production because people were, effectively. It was just using money that was from ESL. So the more that we can do that kind of thing, I think that'd be great. But again, if somebody thinks that the scene is already too esports, I don't begrudge them that judgment.
Right.
I think that's fine. In any case, and people were making this point on Twitter, you can still just hang out and play video games with your friends. You know, you don't need to treat it as like some big giant thing that exists elsewhere with a lot of money. It can just be you and your buddies playing video games together, and at some degree, it should always have that. So if that's what you want to do, then that's always there.
Yep. Having said that, I will say though that, you know, I've always said that I would only commentate fighting games or Tetris because I love Tetris, or Splatoon 2 because I think Splatoon 2 would be awesome, but it's gotten to a point right now where if something else comes a call in, I might.
I mean, I think you should. I don't think you should be that.
Yeah, I know. If I end up commentating something that's not a fighting game and not Tetris and not Splatoon, please do not begrudge me. I am not in a position to choose. Right
no, it's all good, man. I think that you should. I've been telling you should.
Yeah, I know. So.
This hoodie I got from MLG when I commentated, and I got to tell you, it's probably the most comfortable free hoodie I've ever gotten.
Really?
It's super comfortable. I sleep in it pretty regularly.
Okay.
It's super comfy.
Dude, I would do Puyo Tetris at AnimEvo, but the problem is I don't know Puyo at all.
Bummer.
Like, I don't know Puyo, and I hate jumping on there and being disrespectful to Puyo, so, yeah.
Everybody has different things going on in the FGC. Some people want to make it a business, and I mean, I do. You know, commentary is not what I want to be my main business, but I do have a bunch of clients in the FGC. Some of the players in the past, some of the teams, some of the organizers, even some of the people who run tournaments, some of the broadcasters. They've been or still are clients of mine. So I am trying to make it a business.
Right,
It'd be helpful for me if there was more money involved, but it's still important to me that money not come in such a way that outside forces get to control it. You know, I would not want some situation like having Riot or Blizzard just dominate it and decide everything that gets to happen. That's not at all what I want.
Yep, exactly. So
even though that'd probably be a lot more financially viable for me. You know, but hey, I got multiple things going on, and money's not all of it. So. Also, that's a big part of why not all of my law practice is esports. And it's a big part.
Do you actually have some stuff that's not?
Yeah, game dev and other stuff, websites.
Well, I mean, okay. You know, it's still modern technology.
It's basically all that.
Yeah, which is important.
New tech and media and the like. But it's not all esports, and that's a big part of why. And it's also a big part of why I wouldn't want to do full-time commentary. I always want to have the ability to tell somebody to screw off and that I don't want to do your thing. I always want to have that. I don't know if that's always going to be viable for me, but I'd love to keep that.
Yeah. Trust me, I mean, it definitely burns deeply. Like, every time I hear you say that, like, I would never want to do commentary full time. I'm like,
wow,
but like,
this is not a new conversation.
Yeah, I know, but trust me, it's only because I know you're right. Like, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but hey. I got to make it work. The hustle is starting now, dude. The hustle is starting now. So you might expect to see some stuff from me soon, hopefully. So.
All right, sounds good. So when Fighters of the Storm comes out from Blizzard, and when League of Fighters comes out, it's going to be old James Chen.
Yeah, there you go. So.
By the way, I like SF5.
I do like SF5, but the thing about it is...
It's not my favorite game ever.
It's at a point right now where, like, when people complain about it, and they're like, I hate Street Fighter 5, I'm like, that's fine. I can't argue with that.
Sure, man. Right, you have your own opinion.
I mean, like, I totally get it. You know,
it's fine.
I have complained about it. I mean, we've had debates about it before, where even where I'm just like, this game, like,
you didn't like it for a while. I didn't like it for a while.
I mean, I still have a lot of problems with a lot of what it is. Like, I think it needs another defensive option. I will shake my fist and yell at clouds forever until they bring back invincible dragon punches. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that I think are wrong with the game, but at the same time, this is where that rose-colored glasses thing comes in that bothers me, is that every single one of these games had these problems.
For sure.
Especially also because Street Fighter V is a direct result of what everyone got mad about Street Fighter 4.
Yes.
It's like, I hate backdashes and invincible safe uppercuts and one-frame links and everything like that. So they
all of which I said.
Yeah, and they made Street Fighter 5, and now here...
Yeah.
There it is. Like, you made your bed, sleep in it at this point in time. Don't absolve yourself from all the blame having the game turn out the way it is, you know? So
yeah, every game, whoever starts with each game, that's their favorite, you know, and that game is how you judge. It's like with the base that you judge every other game on. I get that because I kind of do the same, but you have to recognize it in yourself and know that other people are doing the same.
I wanted to put out a David-like tweet, like a troll tweet. I wanted to write, like, you know, when Street Fighter 6 comes out, everyone's going to talk about how it sucks compared to Street Fighter 5.
Definitely true.
And the reason why that's happening, because all the people who are complaining are not very good because you're so damn predictable. I wanted to say something to that effect, but, you know, I was just like, oh, I can't do it.
It's funny. Well, I hope that... Capcom deals better with other things than they did with Capcom Pro Talk, because that's definitely a big bummer. I
mean, Capcom Pro Talk and now Battle for the Stones are all kind of like...
Also a bummer.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So, but I don't know.
All right, that's anything else to say about that?
Yeah, let's move on. I think we've said enough. So.
All right, rambling over.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will... have the results for Thaiger Uppercut coming up for you. So
let's do it.
Be right back, guys. You know everyone wants to see you eat that core again, right? Save the core for the stream. I'm
not a monkey, all right? Hello and welcome back to the show. Let's talk now about results from the past weekend. There was a big tournament over in Thailand, which is called Thaiger Uppercut. Get it?
Thaiger Uppercut, yes.
Genius. And it had some big tournaments, you know? Some good games. Did you watch any of it?
I got to watch parts of it. I did not watch the top 8 or anything like that.
Okay, so I did.
Why is this not scrolling here? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so this was a Capcom Premiere event.
Yeah, was it? I thought it was ranking.
Was it just a ranking event?
Can you check that? I think it's ranking.
Let's see here. Is it stop that ranking event? You were right. Oh, wow. Okay, I thought it was a premiere because there was a lot of damn good players.
There were.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a ranking event. Let's go over the top 16. Okay. So in 13th place was Fubarduck with Armika.
I can't believe it.
Doyu Xiaohai with Cammy. John Ding with Cammy. So I guess John Ding is playing this game now as well. Mago with Karen, I should say. 9th place was Echo Fox Momochi, Razor Sien, CAG Dogra, and Fight Club Ultra David with Cammy. I kept joking every time I saw it. I was like, oh, look, Ultra David.
You did?
Yeah, exactly. You went all the way there. You didn't tell me. Okay. Next up, in 7th place is RB Bonchan and Nasser Big Bird. Bonchan used Nash and Karen, and Big Bird used Rashid and Zeku. 5th place was Sephor with Balrog and Ghost K Brad with Cammy. 4th place, DNG Inabashi Zangief with Abigail. 3rd place, Aziz with Akuma and Colleen. And 2nd place was Hori Sako with Manat. 1st place, again, Echo Fox Tokido with Akuma.
Yeah, it was a really good top 8.
Do you want to know what the craziest stat was? Did you see the GTO Akira stat on Twitter that he posted up?
Maybe not.
That since the CPT has been created, that Tokido has only not made 4 top 8s in events that he's been into.
Just for throughout SF5?
Yeah, he's like 32 out of 36 or something stupid like that for getting to top 8s. Like even I think maybe in Street Fighter 4, I'm not sure.
Oh wow!
Because I guess 30 events would be probably since Street Fighter 5. Yeah. But like it's something dumb like that. And like one of them was Evo where he got 9th place. In 2016, I think it was.
That's wild.
So Tokido was stupidly good, dude. Like people cannot underestimate how talented this guy is.
Crazy, man.
That's ridiculous, dude.
So he's pretty good still. It was super cool to see Sako up there.
Yeah. Again, obviously I'm happy with watching Najd play.
Yeah, me too.
I think Najd's really interesting. And again, it's another one of those things. Like, I mean, if you think she's so good, try her. And you'll find out that this is not easy. Then, of course, everyone's like, it's because, she's hidden behind execution stuff with the balls and everything like that. Have you seen the Javits tech on V-Trigger 2?
No.
Like, there's some ridiculous stuff that he's finding with that. So I wouldn't discount it quite just yet.
Well, that's the main reason I'm not playing her. I feel like she's the best Dhalsim in the game and really fun. I just don't want to do the execution stuff. So, But I'm not complaining about that.
Right,
it's all good. Aziz from Kuwait. And I did the math a little bit. This is actually the closest major tournament to Kuwait.
Really?
Yeah. Like, as opposed to going to... Well, maybe there are some European ones.
I guess that's true.
But, like, as opposed to going to the UK for the couple tournaments that are in Birmingham, for example, Thailand is closer. So, bummer. But, yeah.
Dang.
I think that's sick, though, that he did as well as he did.
Yeah.
Itazan beat K-Brad in like the closest match. K-Brad definitely could have moved higher.
I need to watch that then, because like I said, I still don't understand the Cammy versus Abigail match. And I will correct myself. I kept saying, like, at final round, Verloren destroyed Storm Kubo. It wasn't Verloren. It was NL who destroyed him. So I just have to make sure I keep that there.
Big Bird tried to counterpick Itazan with Zeku to, like, zone out with old Zeku. And that just did not work at all. Not a little
really?
bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it was a good top 8.
Okay, cool.
Good job, everybody.
Good stuff.
It is, I think, kind of a bummer that the way that ranking tournaments work, you just get so few points for...
Yeah, it's always
so,
a problem.
There's this amazing top 8, and even, as you said, all the way down to top 16, really good players at this tournament, not a lot of points handed out. So, kind of a bummer on that. People want me to talk about Cyclops, the commentator.
Oh, yeah, Cyclops.
Hilarious. Definitely had some good lines.
Dude, the best Juna, like the legit reaction that Juna had to the line when he was like, "Oh, he's coming! Come in me!"
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
You don't saw that one? He was like, "Come in me," and then it was like silence for 1 second, and then all of a sudden, what? he was like, "Wait, what?" And then he was like, "Oh, I mean, come to me. Like, dude, that.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Okay, Juno's reaction, because there was like silence for 1 second, and then all of a sudden you just hear Juno go, "What?" And then a laugh, and then he said something. Dude, like I actually cracked up out loud because it was just like it worked out so well. So.
All right, but I mean, he had some funny lines. Apparently, he's a Dota guy. I don't know, but he did good work. And to his credit, he said when he didn't know stuff, like if you're coming into a new game. The worst thing to do is to pretend like you know all the things, because everybody knows immediately that you don't. So there were times when like Zeku popped up and he was like, "I'll be honest, I don't know that much about Zeku. I didn't think that I would see him, so I didn't like study it up."
Nice. Okay.
And Juno was like, "Yeah, well, that's pretty reasonable, but all right."
But, hey, look, I've barely studied up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Jesus, character's not there, dude. So. Now people are talking about getting him at Evo, and Seglia was like, "Hey, dude, like just apply."
Right?
There's no reason not to. So
he did a good job with the move names, that's for sure.
Yeah, but that's how you can tell that he's not standard fighting game commentator.
I don't know any move names.
Dude,
a flurry from Ricky.
Mike Z got on my case for calling things flipping and green blocking in Guilty Gear, and I was like, "Dude, when have I ever?" And he was like, "What about your FAQs?" I'm like, "That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be official there. I'm not going to call it up super in an FAQ or anything like that.
Spear flame.
Spiral kick, yeah, exactly. Which one was Parabellum on fire? Was that Yoga Flame or something?
I don't know.
Which one the hell is Parabellum on fire?
Colleen has Parabellum, but I don't know what happened with it being on fire.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was funny. Definitely, that's just EX Parabellum. Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, that wasn't the only tournament. There was also a Tekkenary.
Yes. Let's see here. Oops.
Tekken 7.
Tekken 7. So 7th place was UIU Kurans with Devil Jin, as well as VS AMG FV Meat with Dragunov and Fang. 5th place, Kokoma with Cosme, Noctis, and Oh, he plays some Noctis. Okay. 5th place was also Love Neat with Jack 7 and Josie. I feel like I could do like a rap here with Love Neat and Meat, right? Like I just feel like there's the automatic rhyme built in there.
Okay.
4th place was Fersen Low High with Shaheen, Lars, and Dragunov. 3rd place, UIU Jian Ding with Eddie, Lucky Chloe. 2nd place, ROX Dragon Knee with Kazuya Paul. Of course, Knee just won final round. Right. But 1st place was VS AMG FV Book with Jin.
Wow.
I'm not familiar with Book.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. So.
But apparently Kokoma beat Kudans with Noctis. That's pretty sick.
You need to copy that link so you can watch that later. Though.
Okay, will do.
He's from Thailand, huh? Okay.
Dang, all right.
Good stuff.
Shout out to that's awesome then.
Yeah. Okay.
There was also Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Dragon Ball. Now, this is cool part because between the results of Dragon Ball, I think it's like Blaze Blue, a whole bunch of different games. I saw Cien talk about this player, but we'll get to that when we get to the top 2 then. Yep. So Dragon Ball was here. 7th place was Nasser Big Bird with Blue Vegeta, Gotenks, and Vegeta. Also first in Horse Mask with A16 Beerus and Goku Black. 5th place was Momochi, Fox Momochi with Grohan, A16, and Goku Black, as well as Xiaohai, Kwamba Doyu Xiaohai. I didn't know he was playing the game with Grohan, Android 16, and Cell. That seems about right for Xiaohai. 4th place was GGVN, Isu Cubu.
Ice Cube.
With Ice Cube. Okay, got it. Yeah. With Blue Goku, and Tien. Yeah,
Tien, your boy.
I'm telling you right now, he's got to make top 8, and he's got to kill someone with Chaozu.
Yeah.
Because I need the audience just to scream. I mean, like, it's going to be easy to get everyone to scream with Cell's intro. Yeah. But, like, to get everyone yelling Chaozu in a stadium,
That would be pretty cool.
3rd place is Nikki E with Adult Gohan, Cell, and Vegeta. 2nd place was Seo with Grohan, Goku Black, and Android 16. 1st place, CAG Dogura with Kid Buu, Cell, and Vegeta.
Dogura, I think, had to make it back through losers. Can you pick on the...
Yeah,
I watched it. I don't know. I don't remember for sure. But
yep, he did. 3-0-3-0 over
it was a blow up once he got there. But it was really cool because winners finals was Seo with 2 Southeast Asian players, basically. Seo from Singapore and Nikki E from Thailand.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is Seo also won Guilty Gear, and he won Blaze Blue as well. And, you know, you could see Cien when he was tweeting him, he was just like, oh, this guy needs to get sponsored. I'm so happy for him. So apparently he's just been a player who's been doing well there for a very long time, and so it's cool to see that kind of success that he's having here. So
Cien said that Seo basically beats Cien in everything but Street Fighter. And Cien plays other stuff too. So, you know, that's impressive.
Okay.
Horse Mask, first on Horse Mask. Horse Mask is the guy who runs Fursan. He's like the team owner.
Okay.
So pretty sick that like a team owner actually got top 8 in a tournament because that never happens.
Yeah, I know. That is pretty cool.
I think that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
From the UAE.
I'll just go through some quick stuff here. 3rd place in King of Fighters 14 was AG Kentut Bird Dahak.
Yep, you got it.
I'm just trying to figure out what that might actually mean. You know,
Could
Bird
be
Hawk
Thai,
or something
man,
like that. I don't know. That's true. With Damon Clark Iori as well as Verse Clark Iori. 2nd place was Kwamba Doyu Dako with Kula, Kyo, and Iori. And first place is Kamba Doyu Xiaohai with Benimaru, Luang, Iori. Robert, Benimaru, Iori. Kula, Benimaru, Iori, because he just pretty much could play anyone. Marvel vs. Capcom. Oh, he won that too. Okay, so fourth place was Sun Goki with Space Dormammu, with Space Dorm Ultron. Third was Ball Cross Za, maybe? Ball X ZA, Space Dante Venom. Second place VGD with Power, Haggis Gamora, Soul Hagger Thanos, and Soul Hagger Dante.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, I was about to say, you approve of that one for sure. And then first place, Seo, Space Zero Dante, and Reality Ultron Dante.
All right, Team Boring, guys.
Yeah, and Guilty Gear Rev 2. I'm not debating that.
Nah, it's cool.
Oh, and he's a Johnny player. Okay, I like this guy a lot now.
You're a big fan now.
Fourth place, Jimmy 4-1 with Sin Kisk. Third place, Reza with Kai Kisk. Second place, GVN Ice Cube with May, Kai Kisk, and Faust. And first place, Seo with Johnny.
Sick.
Then Blaze Blue, fourth place, Full Luna with Lychee, third place, Reza with Jin, second place, GGVN Ice Cube with Asriel and Tsubaki. So he lost to Seo in two.
Ice Cube had a good weekend too.
And Seo in first place with Embryo Storage S. So there you go.
Cool, man. You brought up Xiaohai in Dragon Ball, and he definitely doesn't know the game that well. He's just a super good player.
Really?
And got top 8. Like you could see, there were times when he just didn't know what the combos were. Like he didn't know what his conversion was. There were times when he didn't seem to know what the opponent's options were. So he just made top 8 because he's super sick at fighting games. You could definitely tell.
Yeah, Xiaohai is kind of good,
God.
So, but yeah, good stuff to Seo. I hope we see more of him traveling to a bunch of events. I know this upcoming weekend is like Anime Ascension and stuff like that. I'm probably not going to make those, but we'll see.
It'd be very cool to see more.
Let's get like a one of those our street, not our street fighter, but maybe our salty sponsoring him out or something like that.
Would be cool.
to see Otaku or something like that. I think would be kind of cool.
Agreed, man.
So,
all right. That was it for Thaiger Uppercut.
Yep, that was Thaiger Uppercut. We definitely have a couple more events here.
Okay. I have the results from the Free Play Arcade 2018 Super Turbo Spring Series.
Okay. Go. Yes. So basically, there's a venue in San Antonio that I know a bunch of guys went to, and they're like, this is amazing. And then they were going to run a big major Super Turbo tournament over there, and this was it this weekend, and a bunch of people went, including players from Japan.
Right.
It's like Matsun was out there and everything. So there you go. So you have results for that?
I do, but I don't know what all the words are because some of it's in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Tied for 7th place was somebody from Japan and Technical Monkey.
The guy from Japan, someone mentioned, I think was a Vega player.
Okay,
was a Vega player, yeah.
5th places were
That's Matsun.
Yeah,
That's
I got
Matsun.
that one. And Tomo.
Oh, okay. Who's technically from Japan, but he's honorary U.S. right now.
Right. 4th, Ultra Combo.
Nice. Good job to him, dude. He's
pretty
so
sick.
good at this game now.
3rd was Yaya, Japan.
Okay.
That's awesome. 2nd place, Afro Legends.
Afro Legends, baby.
Number 2. 1st place.
Damn, okay. Is anybody in the chat?
I would say Oto-chan.
Was that Oto-chan? Oh, can you read it a little bit?
I'm not confident in it, but I believe Oto-chan.
That sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure that's him right there.
Okay.
Right? It's literally the guy.
Yeah, Silent Scope, who was there helping run the event and everything, said it was Oto-chan.
All right.
There you go. There's a
got
top
some
8 that I need to go watch in there as well because great players, obviously.
Yeah, that's a crazy lineup.
Murasaki Vega, that's who it is.
Thank you.
7th place. So shout outs to Silent Scope. Like I said, he was there helping do a lot of the work there, I'm pretty sure. So, but yeah, good stuff.
That's awesome.
So exciting. Those guys, I mean, including, Eugene, Tanya, and Steve, all those guys doing some great stuff for Super Turbo still.
Very
and
impressive.
Matsun flying all the way out there and everything like that. So
super cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
Shout outs to all you guys. Doing good work.
Do I have anything
important work
else here?
Are there VODs? I watched a little bit of it, so it was on something, but Soundscope, do you have the stream? Any info on that?
Yeah, we'll give him 30 seconds because that's the way it works. Also, in Japan, there was a Tekken event as well, which I believe was, there was being held the 5th iteration of the semi-annual 3v3 team tournament. The Kellot Cup was with nearly 100 different squads participating.
Wow.
Notably, the Yamasa trio of Nobi, Take, and Yu were split up among 3 different teams, adding another interesting wrinkle. I wonder if they forced them to do that or they just decided to do that for fun. So Silent says it will be on YouTube. It's on the archives right now. So.
Yeah, but what's the stream/YouTube link? Like, what's the URL? That was my question. Come on.
Okay, hang on a second. Let's do it here. Did you just do an over-exaggerated noise? Okay, cool. But obviously, single elimination as their four places with in 5th place. Flying Knee with MHW. I guess that's the team name with Mamoru Chien with Lily, Nashimeru Chien with Lily, and 12 Raku with Katarina. 5th place also. You know what? I'm starting at 3rd place.
Impossible.
I'm just kidding. 3rd place was Team TBS with Tamachi and Xiaoyu, Bupo with Paul, and Toraken with Panda. 3rd place was Chihiro Special Forces with Yamasa Nobi. So Nobi's team got 3rd place with Dragunov Nishi Fang, as well as Kagemaru Josie. 2nd place was Pikohan Lee. Pikohan with Lee, Airu with Dragunov, and Kutan with Lily. And 1st place was Next Time I Won't Cry with Cool As Games, Noroma, Jack 7, Yamasa Take with Kazumi, and Butts with Huarong. But one T. It's Butts.
Only Butts.
Yeah, well, like as an interjection kind of thing.
Yeah,
so.
well, I'll allow it. Oh, did I get apple on my mustache? The Twitch stream for previously mentioned Super Turbo is twitch.tv/freeplayarcade.
Freeplay Arcade.
So check out the archives there.
Okay, cool. There you go. That's all I have for events.
Cool.
Upcoming events this weekend is going to be another premiere event, NCR.
And the brackets. Incredible.
2 years ago, they had the death bracket, which was super entertaining, right? Was it last year? I think it was 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. This year, everything is a death bracket, dude. It's gotten to that point right now where Street Fighter V is just only being played by mostly the professionals, and so like the brackets are just ridiculous right now.
I do think there's a little bit of NCR factor in there. Not the most attended tournament in the world.
Yeah, okay. Could be true. But like it's really interesting because it kind of brought up a conversation. Visant was kind of mentioning this. He was like, "Where's all the pot monsters?" And I think that we really need to do a better job, like helping people, encouraging them to show up by doing more things for them, right? So like West Coast Warzone had the 0-2 tournament.
Right, that was awesome.
Dude, I was thinking that anyone who goes 0-2 should get a bracelet that says I went 0-2. Like, I think that would be funny. Like, I went 0-2 at NorCal Regionals. I think that would be kind of funny.
I don't know. You don't think that'd be like a kind of...
Dude, a lot of people responded to the tweet. They're like, dude, I would rock that free,
okay,
right?
enough.
And then I was even joking, like, you should have, like, casual stations, and anyone who has that bracelet gets to cut, like, the line and go into there.
That's funny.
Like, have stations made for them.
That's a funny idea. All right.
Some people were saying that there was a tournament in Spain that everyone that went 0-2 that took place in a restaurant/bar, they got a free drink.
Okay.
It's kind of like I think they called it something 0-2. I forgot what it was.
Okay.
But like,
so the real losers went 1-2.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that would actually be kind of cool. I think that would be kind of cool to like.
Yeah, there should be more.
Right, because and again, the way I said it on Twitter is this is not like a honorable mention coddling kind of thing, like make you feel better. It's just these guys paid to travel here to go to this event. They paid entry fee and everything like that. It's not wrong to make sure that they have a good time.
I'm with you, man.
So,
I mean, in particular, I like the 0-2 tournament because it gives more experience.
Yes.
And it's and then you can walk away from it saying that you didn't go 0-2 twice. Some people, anyway. Some people go 0-4, which maybe has an extra little feeling to it, but for most people, I think that's pretty sick. Yeah, if you lost the first match, would you just throw the second one to get your free drink? Hey, that's your choice.
Right.
Your choice.
Oh, man, I think that was funny.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's this weekend. NCR is this weekend. Also, Anime Ascension is this weekend. So NorCal, SoCal, Anime Ascension. They're going to have Unio, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, as well as Dragon Ball as well. So a lot of events going on there. So there it is.
An 0-4 tourney. Wow, you just go down the line.
Just keep doing it.
Ultimately, somebody loses just every single. They lose 100 times.
Who is the worst player? Right? Just keep having it until there's 2 guys left, and you'll have that guy who's like 0-64.
Yeah. Oh, that's very funny. That's right. There's also going to be Bum's Birthday Bash.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Which is going to have, I think, SonicFox versus Apology Man.
That's right. Okay.
So Apology Man chose to not go to NCR, which is where he's from. Not go to Anime Ascension, which kind of makes sense.
Right.
But instead to go to
Bum's Birthday Bash.
I mean, like, will something else go? Is he just in New York? For whatever, is he just there? I don't know what the story behind that is, but he's going all the way to New York to play against SonicFox, which is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, because a lot of those NorCal guys are really strong at the game, but I feel like they haven't traveled as much outside of just coming to SoCal or Central California for the SoCal standoff. So I would love to see guys like him and Dacid Bro and Mike Muscles Murphy and all those guys start traveling and seeing what happens.
I'm with you. By the way, Curly points out that that the death bracket has been in the last couple of years, but when it was like the crazy one was the first one, then the second time, and this time too, it's still there. Nobody joins the death bracket because they think it's going to be the craziest bracket.
Right. And so the death bracket actually last year turned out to be pretty easy.
Yeah. But does the death bracket, does that just get you into another pool, like into just a main pool, or is it its own?
It's the own pool.
That's I feel like that's an oversight.
It's its own pool, but the thing is, it has no cap, right? So I think Chris T made it out last year of that.
But if it's the easiest one, because the other ones are wild.
Right
dude.
now
There's
it is.
wild.
Yeah.
There's like legit 5 people who could make top 8 in one pool. Like there's some crazy stuff out there.
Well, K7X also mentions that apparently Virtua Fighter 5v5 Beat Tribe Cup is the 1st of April, Saturday for West Coast.
Wow.
With 500 plus entrants streamed on Game Newton.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. I would definitely be curious to check that out. So. Okay.
Yeah, Chris T won Deathpool at
Romance
Capcom
won
Cup.
it last year. Oh, he won the Deathpool at Capcom Cup. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but again, don't you think that the death bracket should just be like a funnel into another pool? And like that's a penalty.
Yeah, that kind of feels like it should be now, because the death bracket is
not established.
Because the thing about it is, honestly, the death bracket worked.
It did. It definitely did.
It did its job. No one wants to do that anymore.
You're right.
So there you go. Okay.
Yeah, the Capcom Cup one was like that. It was just to get into a pool. Remember that?
Okay.
Okay, well, anyways, April 1st is coming up. Weird.
Yeah, it doesn't even really matter anymore. So.
Oh, I'm talking about the passage of time, not...
Oh, not that. Here comes this cool holiday,
So when I thought I was talking about the passage of time, and then you're just like, it doesn't even matter anymore. I was like, wow, James. God.
The darkest episode of Ultra Chen Tuesday show. James Chen has given up.
Doesn't even matter anymore.
I'm just saying, who really cares about April Fool's?
No, you're right.
Yeah, okay. All right, AnimEvo. So this is the side tournament that runs at Evo every year. Not even run by Evo, but run by a bunch of guys, and it's really become its own official thing over there. And I don't know any story behind it, but I wouldn't be surprised if the guys at AnimEvo had direct contact with Evo staff to work stuff. And I know Wizard talked about having a side stream for the non-main games. So hopefully they actually just kind of have a stream dedicated to a lot of AnimEvo stuff.
I hope so, but there's a lot of games.
There's 19 games announced for it. It's like a Big E tournament, It's like literally,
super cool.
But let's check out this list here. This is a cool list.
Announced on SDR last night, which I watched.
That's right. Yes.
Thumbs up.
Actually, let me do this really quick. So. Guys, people haven't noticed, I'm trying new technology here right now, so I don't have to stare away. Melty Blood Actress Again, current code, is one of the games that's going to be there.
Makes sense.
Under Night in Birth, EXE Latest, or Late ST, is going to be there. Gundam Versus, Hokuto no Ken / Fist of the North Star, which is actually going to be played on a Thomas Wave Supergun.
Dang.
So they're playing it on the Supergun. Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R. Kohime Enbu, King of Fighters 14, Samurai Showdown 5 Special, which is the one a lot of people say is actually really, really good.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Garu, Mark of the Wolves.
Okay.
Blaze Blue Central Fiction.
Makes sense.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
That's awesome.
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
What do you think about that?
I think that's great. I think it's great. Catherine. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Wow.
On the CPS2 Supergun. So this is the true arcade version. This is not any rebalanced stuff. This is the true arcade version. So it'll be Ken versus 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 Ken. Yeah. It actually turned out Ken was way too good in that game.
Oh, for real?
Because he's the only one that builds gems in rows. So it was like red, yellow, green, whatever like that. And that actually turned out to be the best because depending on the field, it would get divided up into weird different ways, right? Whereas Ryu was all columns, so no matter how your screen was built, he sucked. Like,
I see.
If you want to know of a game where Ryu is low tier, let's talk about Puzzle Fighter, okay?
Okay.
And he basically killed himself because he would drop the red gem on the left column,
funny.
so you would just sit there and build nothing but red gems on column 2 and 3. And then as soon as he sent a big chunk of thing to you, he would just create the giant red gem on the left.
That's
and
really
he would die. So, okay. Arcana Heart 3, Love Max 6 stars. Bishoju Senshi Sailor Moon S on the Super Nintendo. So that's the Super Nintendo fighting game.
Super Famicom.
Super Famicom fighting game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters on the Super Nintendo. Let's go.
What I like about this is that Sailor Moon is on the Super Famicom. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters is on Super Nintendo.
Right. I don't know if did the Sailor Moon fighting game come out in America? I don't even know.
I've never played it myself.
Yeah. Vampire Savior.
Vampire Savior.
And then Yatagarasu Attack on Cataclysm. So this is on PC. Same with Arcana Heart as well as Melted Blood Actress, again, current code. So that is a cool lineup of games. That is a really, really cool lineup of games. Obviously, there's stuff missing from there. Like, I know the Marvel games are not there, but I guess they try to gear it so that AnimEvo is about games with like very anime characters and kind of.
Also, I know that Angelic is doing the Marvel stuff anyway.
Right.
So
exactly.
I mean, I think that AnimEvo didn't need to do it.
Right.
It's already being done. So.
Yeah, I don't even think Final Fantasy Dissidia qualifies for AnimEvo necessarily. I mean, though it should because their characters are pretty damn anime. But I'm sure there will be a side tournament there. Oh, actually, you know what? Square may even think about running their own event, so maybe they couldn't do it or something like that.
I wonder.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But yeah, super cool lineup.
Oh, that's true. Ninja Turtles doesn't. Well, actually, they have that one character named like Asuka, and she like she's like super anime, right? So.
I guess I don't know.
Oh, maybe not. Okay.
In any case, very cool lineup.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for all those scenes because a lot of people play these games in total. Maybe each individual game is not going to get that giant of an entrance, but in total, that's a lot of people who get to play games that they care about.
Yeah, and
that's what it is all about.
Right, and that's why like every time Evo announces their lineup, and everyone's like, "Why is this not game?" I mean, it's gonna be at Evo. In some form or another, it's gonna be at Evo. If you're a Tatsunoko versus Capcom fan, you're not going to get a bigger group of people to play Tatsunoko versus Capcom with you than at Evo, right? Sure. And you're going to have this tournament here, and it'll be fun. So, like, even if you don't play any of the main games at Evo, you can come in there and hang out and then just watch some good fighting game action all weekend long.
Yeah, just hang out and meet people and play games. Big shout-outs to people running it. That's really impressive. And, to sort of end the esports conversation we were having earlier, there are both things can coexist where there's like the big Evo is in the major hall, the big arena. It's definitely fancy. Like it's not like external esports, but it's like definitely the esports of the FGC for sure. That is there, but also at the same time you can go and play TMNT Tournament Fighters and Sailor Moon.
Yep.
That stuff can all coexist, I think, pretty well.
Right.
So I think this is super cool.
And again, one of the things that I've always said about the fighting game community, going back to that esports thing, the culture of the arcade where even if I didn't like you, if you put your quarter up, you were allowed to play.
Yeah.
Like, no one would ever not let you play. We would try to beat your ass so that you would be discouraged and never come back.
Yeah.
But you were always allowed to play. And that culture of the fighting game community needs to maintain, and that's why these open tournaments and stuff like that are so important. You know, why I don't, like, you should have the opportunity to be stuck in a pool with Daigo Umehara.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You entered, he doesn't get to skip pools.
Right.
No one gets to skip it, and you might just play him first round. Like, that's the way it works. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, maybe you're going to beat Daigo. You never know. 16 seed beat a 1 seed.
It's true.
March Madness.
So. That's right. News. Some cool stuff about games. The character designed by the Saudi Arabia winner of the King of Fighters contest, Najd, it was announced, and there's been footage of her and pictures of her, and she looks really cool.
She does look really cool.
She looks really cool. I mean, like, not even just like what her moves do, like just as a character design,
Definitely.
She actually looks really sick.
I am with you.
Actually, let me see if I can get her on camera here. Oh yeah, there she is.
Najd.
So let's do this.
Yeah, she definitely looks cool.
Whoop, there we go. There she is. There's Najd. Very cool looking character. And very Zato Ichi-esque, it looks like. Zato 1, because she has like these like the little shadow things or something like that that are attacking you. So, is this, does she have, oh yeah, here we go. She's got a reveal trailer. Should I just play this then?
Yeah, why not? See if the computer dies.
Alright guys, just so you know, be warned that this might be kind of loud because I still haven't taken the time to try to figure out how to fix that. So just warning to you guys, this may be a little loud, that's all. So definitely lower your volume a little bit.
Burn to fight. Oh, it looks awful.
No, that's the editing.
Oh. I mean the frame.
Oh yeah, the frame rate is still pretty bad. Yeah. Sorry guys, the frame rate is not good.
Yeah.
The King of Fighters 14.
There's still one more shadow, I think, back there. So there's still one more character to be announced. Sorry, guys, again.
Burn to fight.
Yeah. Really cool looking character.
Live to win.
Very cool looking character. So she's been officially revealed now. So there you go.
She does look cool.
Yeah, she looks like she's going to be a lot of fun, too. A new patch came out for Dissidia Final Fantasy NT.
Okay.
Added like a new stage, and they even put some balance changes in there. I know previously they didn't have move lists in the game, and now they've been added in there. So that's actually really helpful.
Cool,
especially because, like I said, it feels like all the characters have the same moves, but it actually turns out they don't. So it'd be cool to see that. I guess at an event in Japan this weekend. Let me see if I could see this here. Actually, that was this past weekend. So this past weekend there was an event where Najd, Hyder, and who's the other new character? Oswald were all playable. So Nintendo has announced a Super Smash Bros. Invitational 2018 for E3. Remember that they did that before in the past. That was the one that Zero won, right? Didn't he win with like Bowser or something like that, or? At the time,
somebody won something. I think that was the DS version.
Yeah, okay.
The grand finals of the DS version Invitational,
like
whatever it was.
Bowser,
I think it was.
Okay. But they're doing one for this year. So now the question is, what is it? Is it going?
What?
Like, is Smash Brothers really that far along that we can have that Smash Brothers on Switch, or are they gonna just do Smash Wii U, or like what? There's so many questions right now.
It's definitely a new game.
Yeah, what if they just made them were like, hey, here's Melee? Like, oh, that'd be crazy.
That actually would be pretty cool.
That'd be crazy if they did that. Yeah. Also, let's see. Really cool news for Killer Instinct.
Yes.
Killer Instinct, this is an event news right here, are going to run another tour this year, basically, right? And so, well, I'm not sure. Like, is it a full-on circuit again, or is it just this one event?
No, there are at least two.
Okay.
So both Combo Breaker and CEO have $15,000 pot bonus tournaments.
Gotcha.
For
so,
KI.
Yeah.
But Keats on Twitter today said that there's going to be 50,000 total.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did. So what that includes, I didn't see if there was any more to that.
Right, okay.
But I did see that info.
So there might be like a third event, like sometime late in the year.
Maybe there's
like
another big tournament where there could be $20,000. If you can think of another big tournament that follows Combo Breaker and CEO, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I have no idea. But there's going to be something.
Okay, I think that's super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome because the game is no longer getting patched. It's stable, like, and it ended up in a really good place.
Right, it's really balanced right now.
Balanced, very interesting characters. So that is awesome that they're still doing it. I know that many of the KI players have been trying to move on to other games. They didn't think that the game was getting supported still, so they were playing, Injustice or Street Fighter or whatever. But they're all coming back for this, and they should. There was a little bit of a blow up in the scene when this happened because some players who hadn't been playing were like, "All right, I'm back." But other players who have been playing the whole time were like, "Why'd you leave?" Right? Oh, you're just coming back for money, huh? I mean, I get it. Like, if you're a big tournament winning player and you're trying to make this your job, like, you got to do what you got to do. But that said, it's very cool that there is this thing coming back and people can get into it.
I mean, the thing about it is there's also a little pride on the line too, like, because even if you were playing it before and if less people are playing it, you're just like, oh well, you know what, it's fine, I'll move on now. Like, there's always that kind of acceptance, but now it's back. Might not even be the money necessarily that's bringing them back, but oh snap, everybody's going to be playing it, so I want to play it too, and I want to beat all these guys again. So
I think that's a good point. Yeah. So I had actually uninstalled it and I re-downloaded it, which took forever because whatever, Windows, it's Windows Store, and I played it. I've been playing it, and I'm really terrible at it now because I just don't remember a lot of. I was never like the best at it, obviously, but I am much degraded. So but I'm getting back into it, and it's still a lot of fun.
Okay, cool,
it's
nice,
super fun game.
Nice,
super fun game. It is still free to play on Windows Store / I think there's another game, maybe game console out there. I'm not sure. Only a rumor. Another console that may have it. I don't know. But it's also on Steam.
Okay.
You can buy it on Steam. It's not free on Steam, but so it's out on PC
and some other.
I don't know. It's a rumor. There's something else, and also Steam.
Okay. It's like the Atari Lynx or something.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly.
X Boon.
Oh man.
Bone X.
What else do we got? Oh, speaking of Evo, by the way, the applications for Evo 2018 volunteer tournament judges is open now. So if you want to help be a tournament judge over there, and again, obviously, do it if you really, really want to, and and if you do become a judge, please treat players fairly. I've definitely heard some, stories about some girls being called like toots or something like
really?
that. Yeah, or something, or honey or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like wait your turn, honey, kind of thing and stuff like that. But then also at the same time, if people like Chris G and anybody else is late to their pool, please DQ them on time. Please just DQ them on time. That is what you're supposed to do.
That is what you're supposed to do.
That is what you're supposed to do. So. But definitely, applications are open. So check that out if you want to do some help. If you want to help out with Evo. So
yeah, it might be called like the X-Bong. Export.
Excuse me, my console is already named Export.
There you go.
Broly and Bardock came out today.
Yeah, I heard that they're out on Xbox. I don't know if they're out on more now, but when I left
on the
come
Export?
Oh, that's the same console?
It might be, actually.
I don't know if that's true.
It sounds similar enough.
It does sound similar.
Maybe. I don't know.
You're right. You're right. It sounds similar.
Okay.
Yeah. So I heard it's out for one of those, but I hope it's out for others because I'd like to play them when I get home. but it was definitely not out on Steam when I left.
Right. Someone mentioned that Max was streaming them, or like right now, or something like that. All of our viewers go away. But
I'd get out of here too.
Okay, but they're out. We have not had a chance to try them, so hopefully next week we'll be able to talk about them. Our early impressions of them. Tekken 7, you know, they've had a couple of New Japan Pro Wrestling collaborations, you know, with the costumes and stuff like that. They've had 2 of them. They've announced a brand new one featuring Tetsuya Naito. Naito, who was Kenny Omega's tag team wrestling partner for the longest of time, and they had like this big whole drama thing where then like it was actually real. So Kenny Omega tweeted this out. Someone actually wrote like this big long article about their history.
Okay.
It was actually really cool to read about. I mean, like it was just like eventually like one of them betrayed the other one, and he left with this, and then they didn't talk to each other, but they were like great friends, and like you know, and it was actually really kind of cool to read about. So yeah, with the launch of Tekken 7 Bandai Namco, is a new collaboration for both in-game concept as well. The next collaboration will be Naito and Tekken's Devil Jin.
Ooh.
So it involves a line of clothing, t-shirts, hoodies, and wristbands. Usually, they always have a... is that the wrong person? Is that the wrong person? I thought that was Naito. Oh, that's Kota Ibushi. My bad.
Okay.
My bad. Okay. I thought I was being all proud that I knew something here.
Yeah, hey, I'm not involved in this conversation.
Okay, my bad. My bad. Kota Ibushi was the tag team partner. Okay. Naito is somebody else. Okay. My bad. Might be.
Anyway, so...
But yes,
it is Naito who's doing the thing with Devil Jin and whatnot?
Yes. There you go.
Cool.
So, my bad. Okay. This is an interesting one. 30th anniversary collection was delayed in Japan.
Yeah.
Only Japan.
Did you see an explanation for that?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I didn't
but
either.
A lot of people have a theory that maybe Japan wants the Japanese versions of everything instead of the international versions of the games on there. Because I think originally they were just going to get the international versions with like the names in the...
Oh, the reverse.
Yeah. So like maybe... It's getting delayed so they can put the Japanese versions in there. Who knows? I'm not sure, but it was delayed in Japan. So lots of theories flying around. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was a show in Long Beach with...
Kenny Omega and all those guys there, right?
I was hoping you'd fill in the blanks, yes.
Yeah, they were all there. A whole bunch of people were there, like Utex was there.
Right.
CEO Jabali was there. I know, like you know, Super Effects was there. Sanchez was there.
Sick.
They all went to it, and yeah, so there's a bunch of guys out there. It just happened. Heard it was a great show. I think even Logan was there too. So
wow.
Yeah, so they're all just hanging around right now.
Dang. It's quite a bunch of people.
So a couple of. This one's not really a community thing, but you remember Street Fighter's Assassin Fist, which is way better than it deserved to be.
Awesome.
But, you know, those guys did a great job with it, and apparently this has been in the works for a while, because I saw a tweet, like, finally, after 3 years, I can announce this. But they're actually developing a TV show.
Yeah.
For this, from the creators of Assassin's Fist. They're actually going to make a full TV show for this. And it's the same team that was behind Assassin's Fist. I don't know if they said what channel, or if it's just going to be online only, or like Netflix. I don't know what the situation is here. But I guess it's E1.
I think that's the people making it, not the...
Yeah, I guess there's not a lot of other information, so, you know, we can find out when and stuff like that. But it's actually going to be super cool, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hopefully it maintains the quality of that Assassin's Fist, because Assassin's Fist, like I said, was way better than it needed, than it should have been, because no video game adaptation, especially of Street Fighter, has really fared well. But that one was actually really sick. And if you haven't seen Assassin's Fist, you really should if you're a fan of Street Fighter. So
it's just a good series.
Mm-hmm. Community news here. Novel Tataki, who has done a bunch of tutorial videos, actually has a defensive options tutorial for Dragon Ball Fighters. So I believe you can just check this out on his YouTube, which is just youtube.com/Novel Tataki. I'm pretty sure he has an official link like that. Let me make sure, because not a lot of people do.
I think they do.
Novel Tataki. NOVRILTATAKI. Yep, he has an official channel there, so sorry. So you can check that out. He has something for defensive options because defensive options are rough in Dragon Ball. You really have to learn your defense in that game.
Yeah.
So, the last thing here that I have here is that Connecticut's makers of this fine statue behind us of the evil Ryu and the Oni are releasing a new statue, and this thing looks really cool to me.
It's super cool looking.
It's a Guilty Gear thing. So I already have a Dizzy statue, but they are making a brand new Dizzy statue. There you go.
Pachoo.
I mean, it's a nice looking statue.
It looks great.
It's actually a really nice quality on this thing. So it's probably going to be pretty pricey. Yep, only 500 of these dioramas, $649. Yeah, I will not be owning one of these things.
But it's super cool.
Look at that. That's so cool. Oh, man.
Can you get that mouse out of there?
Well, I'm just trying to, click on these buttons here, so. I want it.
It's pretty cool. Gotta say.
I want it. But I don't know if I'll be able to get it. I'll have to talk to Connecticut's. Want to sponsor Ultra Chen TV again? Oh, man, that's so... Look at the rocks. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It looks great.
I mean, high quality stuff. So yes, it's pricey, but it's really nice quality.
Yeah, right.
It's really nice
high quality stuff.
So. All right, that's all I have for news here.
Oh,
Oops, I forgot to change the topic here.
Well, a big one that we haven't talked about was Final Round maybe shutting down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
there's a big Facebook post put up by Larry, aka Shenblanca, who has been running Final Round for the last 21 years, about how he was stepping aside and expected that Final Round would be doing the same, but kind of maybe left the door open a little bit, somebody else doing it maybe. He essentially talked about how the attendance was way down 2/3. I forget if it's a 2/3 drop or if it's 2/3 of what the attendance was in 2016. But in any case, a big drop off.
It's such an unfortunate thing. You can't really compare it to 2016, right? So.
Well, the issue is that 2016 was the year that Street Fighter V first came out, so they had 1,000 players in Street Fighter V, which is way too big for their venue. Right, the venue had already been, it had already kind of run out of room, but that was way too big. So there were a ton of extra problems that weren't there before. There were problems before, for sure, but it was definitely exacerbated. So after that year, many people learned that they shouldn't go to Final Round. It was their lesson from it. But Larry's lesson from it was, I need to get a bigger venue to have more people, to allow more people to be in there. So it's this unfortunate situation where he's spending more money on a much bigger venue, and fewer people are actually coming to spend money. Right, and then this year was actually worse than last year, even in terms of attendance. Meanwhile, he's still spending a lot of money on this big venue. So it kind of sucks. But having blown up as it did in 2016, kind of was the beginning of the end. Yeah, in a way. And now since they were the first the first premiere on the tour, it's hard to know that there were going to be that many people.
Right. And then the unfortunate thing about it is I felt like 2017 Final Round went well.
It did go better.
And, but damage is done, I guess. Nobody went this year. And it's a really unfortunate situation. I felt like everyone should have seen, 2016 Final Round, 2017 Final Round was great again. Yeah. So let's all go back. But it was definitely better that way.
This year also was, from what I heard, this year was better run than last year. Even. So, yeah, it definitely sucks. It's definitely crappy, as people are talking about in the chat. Final Round was the second biggest tournament in the year after EVO. For many years, it was the biggest. And in fact, players from the Southeast considered it their EVO for a long period of time. There are players who were some of the best in the country in various games who didn't go to EVO, they just went to Final Round. There were quite a few of those. So,
have you seen this hydration bot thing in the chat?
What am I looking at?
It's a hydration bot that tells you you've been live for over 2 hours. You should definitely have drink some water. So.
Oh, I'm getting plenty of liquid myself.
But yeah, from what Larry sounds like, he's pretty much done with it. But it sounds like, he could still maybe change his mind. I wrote in the Facebook thread and I was like, you know what, bring it back to the original venue. like bow out of being a Capcom Pro Tour Tekken World Tour event, which would suck for me because then I probably wouldn't be able to go, right? But just bring it back to what it used to be. Nice little, a very cozy kind of tournament, kind of grassrootsy kind of feel thing. Like
that makes sense because that's what they want.
Yeah,
that's definitely what Larry wants. They have not done some of what the other tournaments have done. They haven't like gotten the sort of extra things like the little art area and the pool party and
right.
There was a 24-hour venue this year, but it wasn't actually in the venue. It was in the hotel.
A lot of other problems also came from the fact that this year they had to have those clear backpacks and stuff like that.
Which is the venue's requirement.
Right, which was the venue's requirement and everything,
So I think that would be cool if they could just be like a grassroots thing, because I think that's where their heart is. And it'd be great, too, if, Atlanta's a big city with a lot of players, and that's like a good sort of regional fix. North Carolina, Georgia, Northern Florida, like there's a lot of areas around there that have scenes that don't really have like their own tournament.
Right.
So Atlanta was just in a really good spot. I'm not sure that this means that the grassroots is dying, because other grassroots tournaments are still going on. But I do think that there were, I think it was this really unfortunate thing of them not expecting 1,000 players for Street Fighter, which is hard to expect.
Right.
They could have been doing a better job. I mean, they needed a bigger venue anyway, but that many more people they didn't expect.
I mean, the thing about it is, after it happened, every other tournament was like, oh, crap, let's make sure we're ready for this.
Definitely.
And so they didn't get to suffer. It was literally because, like you said, they were the first one, so they got really screwed over. They really did.
They did not expect it. Yeah, and I remember talking with people at NCR and at, I don't know if I went to Combo Breaker that year, but CEO, there's talking with people, and they were all like, we saw what happened in the final round. We got to get ready.
Right.
Like, we have to make sure we have, everything is in order. So it was a lesson for everybody else, but they unfortunately were the guinea pigs for that. And I think that was a big part of why it ended up failing. Again, though, I don't want to minimize the fact that there were issues previously.
Yeah, and they could have did different things to handle, even the 2016. I'm sorry, the 2016 1,000 entrants. Yeah, they could have did stuff to handle that, but
didn't go well. So.
Didn't go well.
But yeah, again, I really hope that Larry does stick around. I mean, I feel like ideally he sticks around for the scene's sake. He sticks around and the tournament sticks around. But if that's not the case, then I hope he still comes to events, because it'd be nice to just hang out with him. And even if that doesn't happen, I hope that there's something in Atlanta. I want like an Atlanta tournament so that people can actually play in their scene. So.
Yeah, but unfortunate. I hope Larry the best. I hope he continues to have a lot of success in all sorts of other things. If he decides to stop doing fighting game stuff. And honestly, to be fair, to like, the stresses of being a TO are just ridiculous. Like the amount of stuff that you have to deal with as a TO is pretty on a level that if it's just not worth it anymore, like. You try to put on this event, you do all this stuff, you got a bigger venue, you try to correct all the problems, everyone's still talking smack or whatever like that, and it's just like, at some point in time, you're like, why I don't even want to do this anymore. And, if it's, I told him I'd be sad to see it go, but, do what you want me to do for yourself. If you want to get a break from this and because, it's just too stressful and whatever, like, absolutely, do you know what I mean? So
it's not an easy gig. It's really not.
No.
It's not a gig that many people would really want to do,
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't even hear that narrative anymore that it's easy. Right? I feel like that's died, which is good, because it should be dead.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Even Rick in the chat, the Hado who runs Combo Breaker just said it's an interesting collection of stressors. Yes, for sure. So. And again, the way that I've always told everybody who wants to be a TO, I'm like, it's not about preventing disasters. It's about how fast can you react to them. It happens every time. You can't get away. From it. So. Well,
I do think it'd be nice if they at least stuck around as a grassroots tournament. But
he did say that he's going to stick around at least to help with the Fall Classic this year. Right. So he's not gone yet.
That's true.
Right? So he'll definitely be helping with the Fall Classic. So
that is true.
There you go.
But, things have changed. The fighting game scene doesn't necessarily want the same things that were there in tournaments years ago, and that's I don't know if that's not. I feel like that's not the same thing as the esportsification of stuff. It's just that we've come to expect that there's not just going to be the tournament. That there's going to be other things to do in a venue or at a tournament.
Right.
And Final Round didn't really keep up with that stuff. That's again. It's not. I don't think it's just that there was that giant year that ended up, causing big problems that then caused big problems for attendance in the future. It's not just that.
It's a lot of little things.
There's other stuff too, but they hadn't really kept up.
Okay. So some people in the chat are mentioning also that I guess Super Arcade has announced that they passed inspection.
Yes, that's true. So, Mike Watson posted on Twitter today that it's all done.
Right. So there's probably a couple of things they need to finish, and it will be open indeed in October in 2019. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, boy.
Okay. No, that's cool. I hope that means it opens up soon. They have definitely done some events there, like they've ran a couple of streams at the Super Arcade venue and everything like that, but it wasn't quite open as a business yet. But I guess this means finally it will be.
Yeah.
So,
well,
there you go.
Wish them all the best of luck, of course.
Yeah.
Also very cool that the new Xanadu is open. Did you see that?
Oh, there's a new Xanadu, huh?
Yeah, they
so
already
the one
opened
closed
it up.
down and then a new one propped.
It's a sick-looking venue, dude.
Really? Oh, I think I did see a video of that. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay, so they're not out a scene in Virginia area, right?
It's still happening.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know where the new one is. It was in Baltimore previously, but I don't know where it is now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Is it still in Baltimore? I feel like I should know the answer to that. It's a very, very cool looking venue.
Yep.
Let me know where it is.
Yep. Okay. Anything else that you have to say? Anything else that you would like to talk about?
Where is Laurel in Maryland? I don't know where that is.
It was definitely last October that Mike Watson said it would guarantee it would be open that month.
So. We gave him the out too.
I was like, "Are you sure you want? Are you sure you want it?" Like,
you don't need to say that,
right? We were like, because you've said in the, so and he was like, "No, for sure."
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I really do hope it succeeds. I really hope.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I hope he can make it work. So
definitely,
I
man.
I hope it does. So. Halfway between Baltimore and DC.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Okay.
Y'all good?
I think so. Let me think. Is there anything else? No, I think I'm good.
Oh, Injustice 2 Legendary Edition? Is that what it's being called? Oh, I feel like I should know this because I've been playing a butt ton of it. But in any case, the final version of it came out.
Okay.
And it's really cool. They did some really nice things. They made it so that the level cap on characters is now 30 instead of 20.
Okay.
Which is nice. You get to find more gear. There's more gear.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. There's also a new training mode, practice mode thing that is very helpful. It teaches you a lot of fundamentals.
Oh yeah. I saw that they said that they're gonna try to come out with the best tutorial ever.
Yeah, it really is a good tutorial. Okay. It really teaches you a lot of stuff.
Okay.
From super beginner things like walking and moving and stuff to what frame data is to it's like there's a big progression and it's in a progression, and for doing it you get rewards like gear and whatnot. So there's an incentive for people who are just in it to get the gear to go through it.
Okay.
They did a really good job.
Okay.
They did a really good job.
I need to go check that out. Is that can you update your current Injustice to...
Yeah, you don't have to buy new stuff.
Okay, so it'll be in there. Okay, I definitely want to take a look at it then.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Take a look at it.
Nice job to them. So as a result, I have been... So you can create bots. You can make an AI, right? And then have the AI play for you through the multiverses and whatever, so you get gear. So I've been doing that. So I've just been doing work and having my console on at the same time, and my console will just be getting loot,
right?
Basically.
Okay.
So I'm already at level 30 with both Bane and Swamp Thing, and Dr. Fate's at 25 now. And
my friend, he doesn't,
just grinding.
He doesn't have a lot of friends on his consoles. I'm one of the only ones, and he just says all he does is beat up on my guys because I've never improved them.
Damn.
I set him up, gave him some default armor, and then I never touched him again. So my guys are really crappy right now. So
Ed Boon also tweeted that there's going to be news about Injustice 2 Esports, but I didn't see that info come out before we started the show, so let me know if anything's come out since then. But in any case, there should be something. Yeah. Last week, the community kind of freaked out that there wasn't an announcement of the Injustice Pro Tour.
Right, the IPS again.
The IPS.
Right, yeah.
But I went back and looked at when it was announced last year, and it was announced in May.
Right. Because remember, Combo Breaker was the first event.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, if they're going to do anything like that timeline, they still have plenty of time.
Right.
So I'm not worried myself.
Exactly. So, and yeah, we can't really say whether the Injustice tutorial is better than the Unist one right now because you haven't tried the Unist one.
Fact.
I haven't tried the Injustice one, so we don't. But I might just jump on Injustice and find out.
It's really good.
So yeah, see how it looks. So.
You play as Batman.
That's a good choice to make you play as.
I guess.
Then
Also, there's like
you're already a top tier player then.
That's true. Yeah. There's a Bruce Wayne outfit.
Oh, that's right.
He just looks like Bruce Wayne, which is pretty sick,
Bruce
actually.
Wayne.
Yeah, it looks nice. He's got a suit on.
Anyways,
Whatever, man.
I hope all the dialogue is, so it was really you all along.
That would be so
Bruce,
cool.
You know, like,
That would be awesome.
It'd be actually kind of funny. So
They all know who he is, right?
nobody knows who he is.
I think don't all the heroes already know who he is?
Oh, the heroes may not necessarily. I mean, like the Justice League cartoon had the best one actually, because they actually did have secret identities, right? And there was one point in time they had to hide from like all this like crazy people, like bad guys looking for him and everything. It's like, let's change into these clothes or whatever like that. And then one person was like, but wouldn't that mean we'd have to reveal our secret identities to each other? And Batman goes, Clark Kent, Barry Allen, Bruce Wayne, like that. And he was like, let's go. It was like the coolest. It was like a great scene, dude. I thought that was actually a really cool scene.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure they all know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I do have my own law firm.
Yes.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wasn't Barry Allen's right? It was Wally West. The cartoon had him as Wally West. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So Bruce knew all of them, and he just revealed it right there, just so.
What a cheesy fellow.
And then, of course, there was the episode where Lex Luthor and Flash changed bodies, and that was kind of an inside joke because the guy who played Lex Luthor on Smallville does the voice for Flash.
Really?
And so for one episode, they just did that as a joke.
Oh, that's pretty funny, actually.
Switched him, right? And so he was playing Lex Luthor again, right? But then the Lex Luthor was the Flash, and you know he's walking around. He's like, at least I'll finally be able to find out his secret identity. He walks into the bathroom and he like takes off the mask. And he's like, I have no idea who this is.
I've seen that clip actually. Yeah, that's right.
That's great.
That's right.
The Justice League cartoon was so good. Like all they had to do for the movies was just redo the cartoon, dude. Like seriously, man. Oh, the animated universe is so good for DC. Anyways. Okay. Don't think I have anything else to say. So if that's it, then I guess we can call it a night then.
I finished my slip box. Did I say that last time?
Oh, I know you were working on it, so.
It's done.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, is it working again? Mm-hmm. So you can play with it again? Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's why I've been playing.
It's funny, I saw you retweet like that keyboard project where someone basically like stole your idea for that, right?
Way before me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes from the same idea of like an ergonomic keyboard, which has been around.
Right,
It's not
yeah. Okay, cool.
All right. Well, you got the bird?
I remembered this time.
Oh, you signed Kizuke.
Oh, that's awesome. Good job to I'm glad. Kizuke deserves it. He's a good player. Congratulations to Kizuke. I dedicate these bird tweets to Kizuke.